Right, welcome to a special one-off podcast. See you next Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day it will be released by now, because it'll take us so long to record it, as we've got the non-stop chatting of Deep, and back for another one is Billy. So, hello you two, how are you?
Good evening.
Welcome
I'm
back,
good,
Billy.
thank
Good
you.
evening, guys.
Hello again, Deeps. Now, you've got no Ken to bully this time, so are you going to be alright?
Yeah, I'll do fine. I'll do fine.
You're not going to pick on Billy for his age, because you've got to remember he's very old. He's even older than Ken, so that could be that. That. Don't take it too far if you bully him, because he'll forget what you've said.
I'm a young 62, thank you very much.
162, he meant.
Oh, he doesn't care. Everton are doing fine. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but at the top of the league, what does he give a shit about now?
Yeah.
Well, today anyway, we're going to start off finishing off our review of the transfer window about 6 months too late, but we'll do it anyway. We'll finish it off from Leicester onwards, and then we'll look, if we've got time, we'll look back on the matches and preview the weekend's matches. So
Sounds good.
So we'll start with Leicester. How do you feel they did in the window?
I thought
They
they'd
were
done okay.
decent.
Go on, Deeps.
They were just middle of the road, I would say, because their squad wasn't that huge, and they haven't added much quality or
Do you
number.
think so? Fofana's class. And I quite
But
like
they,
Castagna as well. I think he's really good. And Under, if they get him to his play well, he's a really good player when he was on his game. He's not played well for a few years, but on his day he was class.
yeah, but they don't have the numbers necessary for the league, Europa League, cup competitions.
Yeah, I see that, but
The fixtures
nobody has them
cranking
for
up.
this season the way it's playing out. I think now the
Yeah,
problem
they
they've
suffer
got
with
is
the lack of squad
they
numbers.
lack a left back is the problem, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna get to it. They
I
don't have
don't.
a left-footed left back.
Yeah, I
I
don't
still
think.
think they're a bit one-dimensional, Chris.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it showed when Vardy was out the other day. They've got this thing where they play the ball over the top, behind the defenders all the time. They've only got one way of playing. When Vardy was out, they were like a ship without a rudder. And I think they needed someone who's going to fill in that gap when he's not playing.
And they're also missing James Madison, who's a really good player.
yeah. But we're talking
Didi
about
is
their
out,
transfer
and even
window,
Soyuncu
really.
is out. Yeah, but
Yeah, sorry,
that is
yeah,
the thing.
right.
Yeah,
They're
that's what I
very
mean.
reliant on their first 11.
I was just thinking they did strengthen their 11. They've only lost Chilwell, who I'm not a particularly big fan of personally. I think he's very good going forward, but he's got an attitude problem, which was causing problems within the squad anyway, and he doesn't work back enough for them. It wasn't for them anyway. He might well do for Chelsea, but he wasn't for them.
They got good money for him, though, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. It virtually paid for all their transfers this season. So.
Yeah.
So I just think
I think they've done okay.
if they got a left back, I think you'd be saying that was a good transfer window. You can't buy 100 players to fill a gap, and we're never going to have a big enough squad to cope with the extra games and the shortened period of thing. But I do agree with you though. They're very reliant on Vardy, and that's going to cost them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because he's not going to stay fit, and that's what they probably also missed out on. Is not getting a backup for him.
Yeah,
but
very much so.
Isn't it the issue with most of these clubs? When you have a settled 11, players would find it hard to break in.
Yeah, but they don't actually have anyone who can even compare. I mean, they've got that.
Yeah, they don't have enough backup for Vardy, for Madison, for Ndidi.
Yeah, well,
They're very important players.
It's difficult to have back. They have got a backup for Ndidi. They've got Mendy and there's someone else as well who I'm forgetting.
Yeah, but they've only started playing Mendy this season. Mendy.
No, there's another one as well. The really keeps hurting people.
Amati. Hamza Chaudhry.
Yeah, Chowdhury.
Hamza
That's it.
Chaudhry.
Yeah,
Yeah, Charlie.
yeah. He's a bit of a
But
dud,
doesn't he
but
also have? Yeah, yeah. He also has a bit of an attitude issue.
yeah, because he was the one with Chilwell. Those two were causing
Yeah,
problems. The pair of them were together, and that's why it was a good thing to break him up. Hopefully, he'll settle down a bit for them. But I think the biggest problem is they've got Brendan Rodgers as a manager, and he's. I
You're
mean,
not a fan, Chris, are you? No.
not as a manager, no. As a coach, he improves players, but as a manager, he's tactically inept. He's got no idea how to change things. He doesn't know how to deal with when a club comes up with something different against him. He's got no idea how to change things to counteract something on the fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can't do it during a match. He really struggles with that. And and if somebody's clever enough to change their system during the game to counteract what his setup, he's in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
So
you know who he reminds me of?
Go on, Deep.
he's going to say
Tuchel.
Ole, isn't he?
No, Tuchel.
Yeah, Tuchel, very much so. The same arrogance and ego, all about him.
And he has been outfoxed by Ole twice.
Yeah,
Without
that says it all,
trying.
really, doesn't
Without
it?
trying, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tuchel's
Ole
awful,
is
to
it.
be fair. How has he still got a job?
Tuchel
Yeah.
or Rodgers.
Tuchel.
And he doesn't even get on with Leonardo at PSG. And he's
The
still there.
players
I don't know
hate him.
how.
It's bizarre. But I don't know. Sometimes it just makes no sense, football, does it?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I do like that Castagna they've got. I think he's an excellent player and is really going to grow into being one of the star right backs. I think that was who, in my opinion, Everton should have gone and got. As their
Yeah,
I
well,
remember
you need a
him
right
from
back,
the yeah.
that
I
lads-
remember him from the time we played Club Bruges
yeah,
in the
and he was
Champions League,
fantastic
and
for
he
Atalanta
was
as well.
yeah, but with Atalanta, everybody is
Yeah,
fantastic. Come
that's
on,
true.
mate.
Yeah,
Except for the past weekend against Napoli, something happened. But otherwise, they're quite good.
yeah, there was that wasn't the best, was it? I seen the result.
Yeah, they were just. I think they were just rattled for the first 15-20 minutes, and then the game was gone.
Yeah, unusual for them.
It will be fun. Yeah, it will be fun to watch
They're
Liverpool
brilliant
versus
team to watch,
Atalanta,
it
though.
must be said. I said, do you remember, Bill, back when you was it before? It was before Koeman and before the other guy. It was before. Oh, Bobby
No,
Bean
it's
Shoes. I wanted you
yeah,
to get
it
his
was
man. Do you
after
remember?
Roberto. Yeah.
I wanted you to get Gasparini then.
Yeah. I remember you mentioning him, Trish, yeah.
Shame you didn't, really. You could have cut out the middleman. You could have been winning the league this season. Oh, wait.
We're quite happy with who we've got at the moment.
But you could have done it a few years earlier with him.
Yeah.
So should we?
He's good, man.
Are we happy with Leicester then? Anything else?
Yeah. We're happy. I'm happy with Leicester.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody called Liverpool. Don't know them. Who are they?
Oh, they're useless.
They never done much. They done okay. They made a great signing in Thiago.
That's it. You just have to look at that and say, and Rhian Brewster's sale paid for that. Getting 10 million.
You got him for a song. Yeah.
Getting 10 million for Dayan Lovren.
Yeah.
But
And that Ovie Ejaria got 3.5 million for him. He was crap. And Harry Wilson getting a loan fee of over $1 million.
I was just gonna say over $1 million. Come on.
I don't
And
know
nobody
how.
wants him at the club.
Yeah.
Oh, he's homegrown. That is why.
Sometimes it's bizarre. Football really is.
Yeah.
But I mean, Thiago, you've got the rest. I mean, a backup left back and someone long term to feed in. I mean,
Jota
didn't really do. Yeah, Jota long term feed into the front three. Didn't really do much of it. So, but that Thiago, I mean, I said in the review today about I really think he's already paid off his transfer fee with 1.5 games.
He's been very good, yeah. Very impressed.
He's just a class act, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very good, yeah.
Yeah, let's just hope he stays fit for you guys.
Yeah, it's quite worrying how good Bayern still look without him. That's what worries me. Is you would think
Yeah, they
losing a
won't
player
come out.
that good would knock you down a peg or two, but they still look top class.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
but
quality.
Thiago wasn't the starting 11 player for them at the start of this year. Like, they have a core group of certain players, 14, 15 players who can just come in and out and come in and out.
Yeah, they have got a very good squad, and
Like before
full of
before
confidence
the
because it's so
lockdown, it
easy.
was mostly Goretzka and Kimmich in the middle for Bayern. Because
Isn't that the
when
only league
you
where it's
get injured, you miss, yeah.
isn't that the only league where it's the usual suspect in charge? Bayern top, like 'cause Serie A, it's AC Milan at the
Not
moment, isn't it?
really.
France is
Yeah.
Lille.
No,
Obviously
Bayern aren't on
England
top, are they?
is
Oh, Real Madrid.
no, Real
Real
Madrid are
Madrid.
third or fourth, aren't they? It's Real Sociedad at top in Spain.
Yeah, Sociedad at the top, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
that's
they're
right.
top because I've
Oh.
actually got. I remember thinking it stuck in my mind because a few years ago when you were playing Athletic Bilbao in the Champions League
Oh,
or Europa
no,
League, my mum
Europa.
and dad were
With
going out to
Bielsa.
Bilbao, and I asked them to pick me up a Bilbao shirt because I was going round with mates to watch the game with him, who's a Man United fan. So I wanted a Bilbao shirt to wear at the while watching the game with him, just to wind him up, like. And they came back with a Real Sociedad shirt. I was like, what the hell good is that?
Oh, Chris, we made a blunder. You made a blunder.
Why?
Leipzig are top.
Hmm?
Leipzig are top, not Bayern.
Oh, Leipzig, of course they are, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
completely forgot about that. They're the only undefeated team in the league, it seems.
So who's I thought I read somewhere. I read somewhere there's only one
No.
of the usual suspects is top. I assumed it was Germany with Bayern because they're playing well. Who the hell? Yeah, of course they lost the other day, didn't they, Bayern?
Yeah, two under Kramaric is Hoffenheim.
Yes, that's right. Hoffenheim, that's right.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow.
I watched the game, so I remember them losing.
Yeah, now you said it, I remember watching the highlights. Like, okay, so take that back about what I said about Bayern. Then they're crap. Oh, it's all about.
No,
Obviously,
but
without
they were quite
Thiago, they
impressive in the
can't cope.
league. Oh, they were fourth with him last year until January.
Yeah, but it does hit you, even so. Eventually, when you lose a player that good. But anyway, there's not a lot to say about Liverpool's transfer window. It was very quiet, really.
Mediocre, yeah. But except for Thiago, but the
I
rest of
think
it wasn't
Tsimikas
much.
will turn out, and Jota in the long term. I mean, it's a long-term view he's been taking, Klopp, really, isn't it, with his signings at the moment?
I was a good backup, Jota.
But come on, man. Tsimikas is just 2 years, I think, younger than Robertson. 3
Yeah,
at
but
most.
we didn't have a left back other than Robertson at the club, and Robertson was absolutely run into the ground last season and looked out
Yeah,
of his
but
feet. So
you
we needed
used
someone
the
who could come in and
word
rotate
term,
with him. That's what I mean.
yeah, but you use the term long term, so I don't think it's really long term. But
Well, it
yeah,
is because
he's
he's
he's a
23.
necessary signing.
He's only 23,
24.
24, something like that. That's 6 years, 7 years. That's long term in football. Anything
No,
over
but
2 years these
Robertson
days
would
is
be
long
there
term
for
in
6
football.
years. Come on.
Hmm?
Robertson would probably be at Liverpool for another 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So that's 5 years. Simicus as backup, hopefully.
You're condemning him to the
He's
bench
not getting in
already.
before him anyway, is he?
Not at
Let's
the
be honest
moment,
about
no.
it.
Nobody is.
No, not the
Nobody
way
is at the
Robbo's
moment,
playing
mate.
this season. Though he could have got a run of games if the referee had spotted that kick out in the derby.
Yeah.
Because
We'll
that
get
was a
on to that.
definite red. Got lucky
Yeah.
there. Oh.
So it
Anyway,
evened
yeah, there's
itself
not a lot
out.
to say. So should we
Right?
move on to City? Man City.
Yeah.
Who did they
Yeah.
buy? Didn't spend
They
any
bought
money. Oh, come
45
on, they're poor.
defenders.
As
Uh,
usual.
Cares was
they
a bit
spent over
overwhelming, though, wasn't it?
another 100 million on centre backs. Don't they?
I'm not an Itanaki fan, I'll be honest with you. I think he's
No,
very
not me.
underwhelming.
He's not really a centre back.
Well, he's been playing there, hasn't he?
He's a
So
midfielder. He wants to play in midfield, but they play him as a centre back. So
I
he's
think
not
he'll
going to
probably
play
end up
mid.
being a left back. Left back for them, I think. He
no, he
plays left
played
back for
centre back. He's
Holland as
been
well.
playing centre back for them. He says himself he's a midfielder.
Yeah, I think he wants to be a midfielder. Left back is his second position, and centre back is the third position he wants for himself. I
But
think
he's not getting in their midfield, is he? Let's be honest
he
about
might.
it. He's not getting in their midfield with the likes of De Bruyne and
Yeah, but
Bernardo Silva and players like that.
He's not as good as Fernandinho. He's not as good as Gundogan, who I'm not a big fan. I just don't think Ake's that good a player, to be honest. To play
No, I
anywhere,
don't.
I've got to be honest.
Very average. Yeah, very average.
I
I
do
think
like Ruben
I think
Diaz
he
though.
might get left back. He might be get a chance at
replace
left back when
Mendy, yeah,
Laporte
you
and
mean?
Ruben. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you have Laporte. If he can stay fit, then he's a screen for left
yeah.
centre back.
I would say the same. That's what I think they bought him for, to be honest. To as a cover for Laporte and to replace Mendy, because oh god, sorry, because Mendy's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his either. No.
I'm not. I mean, that Ferran Torres and that they bought are obviously youngsters, so they're for the future. Most of all the other players, but it's just basically a lot of money more on centre backs they've spent again.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you
I
think
saw
by
with the
now he'd have that sorted, wouldn't you? The centre back issue.
Well, he's had long enough, hasn't he? Now I think he's had unfortunate with Laporte, who I think is a very good player.
Brilliant.
But he needs someone with him as well, and he can't run the show on his own.
Yeah, well, that's what Diaz is in for. I
Yeah.
like him.
He looks a
needed
player.
to
Then.
step
He
up.
looks a bit of a player.
He needed to step up. The problem is they really are missing David Silva for me, and I just don't think you replace a player like that. And you noticed that, like, the reason why I mentioned about Real Sociedad being top. Have you noticed who he went to? David Silva.
Yeah. But they played a game more.
Yeah, but he's still a quality player, isn't he? He can still do a job for most teams, David Silva, even though he's knocking on a little bit.
Yeah, he was quite a player.
I think he'd
quite a
still
miss
be
for us.
fine for them if they wanted him to stay, and he would have. I think he was good enough to stay. He's the best, other than De Bruyne. I don't see anybody in their team that's as good as him, or close to being as good as him.
No, he's a quality player.
Love David Silva. I've got to admit, he's one of my favourite players. Gutted he's not playing in the Prem this season.
Yeah.
But wanted to go home. So what can you do?
You got to let him go, haven't you? If he doesn't want to be there, he's got to let him go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we may as well go on to the little side of Manchester, the weaker side.
Yeah.
The cheap seats, shall we say?
The prawn sandwich brigade.
Yeah, well, not so much these days,
No,
are they?
No, we're the pay-per-view.
Yeah, the pay-per-view team.
The Zebra
How did you think they done deep? How did you think they done deep in the?
I think the players we brought in were good, but we left it too late.
Yeah,
that's the issue. We left it too late with the deals that could have been done easily.
Yeah.
10, 20, 30 days ago. We could have bought Cavani. He was on a free a month ago as well. Hayes, he was available for a similar price weeks ago. But
more importantly, why was nothing done with regards to the goalkeepers? I mean, it's just turned into a mess. You've got three.
Yeah, I posted on the site as well. And our three keepers are, I would say, they will get into the top 20 in the Premier League.
Yeah.
At least.
Definitely. I mean, Henderson in particular, I think. I mean, he's done enough to show he deserved the first team place over De Gea, if you ask me. I don't understand the thinking of getting him and keeping him on the bench.
Me neither, but unlike you, I think De Gea still has a little bit of credit left, so I can agree with the decision to start the season with De Gea, and he's slowly starting to recover form. Maybe it was the pressure he needed.
I don't think he's gone back there to sit on the bench though.
Yeah.
I think he's been promised game time because he had his place there at Sheffield and he was guaranteed his game, and he wouldn't have gone there back to United if he wasn't absolutely guaranteed playing. And I think he's been made promises to play this season. How much of it, I don't know.
It makes no sense to keep him back if you don't.
Yeah,
it will just stunt his development.
Yeah, you've got to either play him, and they should have sold De Gea. That's what I'm thinking, rather than.
But to whom? But to whom? That was the issue.
It doesn't matter if you don't. Your point is, at this point, you're doing what's best for the club long term, rather than what's best financially for the club in the short term. Sometimes you have to say, not being funny, he's got huge wages, De Gea. It would have been worth just taking a hit on a transfer fee by letting him go for very little to a club of his choice, like clubs used to do when they used to reward players with by letting them go on a free towards the end of their career, because you simply need to make the decision now, or it's just going to end up getting more and more of a problem over the next few months.
Yeah, but we didn't reward Sergio Romero, who was never going to figure in our plans with the same privileges. And De Gea, come on. I agree with you, but
keeping him. It really is.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with how we dealt with our keeper situation.
Yeah, you've got to. You can't put De Gea on the bench. I agree with that. You can't put De Gea on the bench. He's far too good a keeper to be sitting on the bench. But then you should, Henderson has to go out on loan again.
Yeah, we should have tried. Yeah, we should have tried to find him a club above the level of Sheffield United. With all due respect,
well, what's wrong with Sheffield United? He got plenty of work there. He was doing well. He was developing.
Yeah, but maybe the club can say, okay, he has done good in a particular setup where he has settled for 2-3 years. Let's see how he can do in a club that maybe aspires to challenge for the top 6.
I don't think you needed to do that. They were doing well, and they need. I think that was the right move. Would have been to just let him go back there again.
And Sheffield have suffered with his loss as well.
Yeah, exactly, because that Ramsdale doesn't look anything like as good as him.
No, nowhere near.
The one I don't get is what's with Van der Beek? Why isn't he playing?
I don't know. It's the biggest anomaly. If he is behind Pogba, Bruno, Matic, McTominay, Fred, then why did we buy him for a significant amount of money? I don't understand.
It makes no sense. If he's just cover for Bruno, you could have bought. There's plenty of other positions you needed to strengthen. Why not work on them? You're centre backs. You never bought a centre back in the window. I mean, I know you have 45 of them you needed to get rid of that were crap, including the most expensive one, Harry Maguire. But that's no excuse not to bring in a better one when you clearly needed one. Just get rid of
You don't want me to start on Harry Maguire, do you?
I know you love Harry Maguire. Sorry, I shouldn't speak in vain of your hero. I know.
The thing with United for me is that they put all their eggs in one basket with the Jadon Sancho, and they're hoping to get in on a cut price deal.
Billy, I don't even think we had all our eggs in this Jadon Sancho basket. I think it was just, let's try. He doesn't want to be away from England, so maybe if we try. I don't think we went in 100%. I think we were just about 90-95, and then Dortmund were like, "Come on."
The player wanted Chelsea. They knew the price. They knew he wanted Chelsea, and they weren't keen on either of those things. So why did they mess around for weeks on it?
Well, they missed out on some good players, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they were open to get Sancho at a knockdown price. And it's affected them now because they bought players who are a bit underwhelming for me. And what they've done is putting all your eggs in one basket with Sancho, knowing that they were going to lower the price anyway, Dortmund. So I just couldn't see the logic in it myself.
Yeah, you don't wait, do you? You don't if things are going...
Not that long, no.
If you can't get a deal done first off, you don't hang around in the hope like a Sado. You go and get
Yeah,
somebody
you
else.
don't just to try and haggle down the price. You don't destroy a relationship with another club.
No, exactly. If you
It
can't
can
get a
have
deal
long
done
term effect.
quickly, you know what their asking price is. You know what needs to be done to make it happen. If you're not prepared to do that, you just go and look elsewhere, don't you?
Yeah,
Exactly.
coach.
We could have looked around for other players.
Yeah. Even if you
Chiesa
couldn't get the
moved.
right winger this time, you could have strengthened other areas where you needed it. It's a bizarre situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we had tried for maybe let's say 2 months for Chiesa, we could have convinced him to come to England maybe.
Hmm. Well, he was
Just to
looking for a
head
move at
off the
one
top of
point.
my head.
He was looking for a move at one point. He was desperate to get away and go to. He's come out. I seen a comment from him, on a thing saying he wanted to play in England in the Premier League. So,
Yeah, but I think
so
Eto'o once mentioned he needed some convincing to join United if we really tried
yeah.
for him.
But what I mean is, you've already got him. You know he wants to come to England. The club's willing to sell. That make more sense to spend more time working on that move where there's a potential possibility it's going to happen than trying for one there's no chance. I mean, it was clear from the start it wasn't going to happen because United weren't going to pay the money.
And not only that, we also stopped the transfer of Marcos Rojo to Fiorentina.
Yeah, odd. There
Yeah.
was some really odd decisions going on at United this summer. It was a bit of a mess. At least they did a few things right. They got rid of Alexis Sanchez off the wage bill, and Chris Smalling they eventually let go. Though they messed that up a few times as well, didn't they?
And I don't understand people saying we wanted Sancho Dortmund at set a price they don't want to buzz, so we shouldn't buzz from the price for Smalling. There's a difference. Smalling is a player who would not be registered for the squad. Sancho
Exactly.
is a starting player for Dortmund.
Exactly.
Smalling wants to leave the club for Roma. Sancho wants to leave the club, but preferably for Chelsea. There are
Yeah.
certain differences.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was a huge difference. You can't compare the situations at all. It makes no sense people comparing them.
Yeah,
So
you can
anyway,
say okay,
should we move
Roma are
on
trying to
before Deep
lowball
starts
the haggle
crying?
out. No,
Yeah.
I won't try. I won't try.
You
I've
did
hope with
last week.
the two 18-year-olds. The two 18-year-olds we
Oh
bought.
yeah, of course, yeah. The one that what's his
Amad
face?
Diallo Traore and Facundo Pellistri.
Yeah, the one that Palestri that was recommended by Forlan. That's him. I couldn't think of
Holland,
his
yeah.
name. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Diala from Atalanta. They've
Atalanta.
got a fantastic youth system there at the moment. So
They're doing
expect
very
Yeah,
well.
even if I don't know much about him, I know he comes from their academy, so surely he must be decent enough.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's for the future, isn't
That's
it?
what
Their
you'd hope.
future.
Yeah, but they're only about a year younger than Greenwood, so
The problem you've got is they're now working under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So do you expect them to make much progress? I mean, have the players? I'm asking you, not telling you. By the way, I'm not giving my opinion here. I'm asking you. Do you feel that he's been improving the young players, or are they just getting better as they get older of the natural progression and experience,
I
etc.,
think I
improving
think
them?
I think Ole has improved certain aspects of the games for the attackers, for
Right.
Martial, for Rashford. Certain aspects they have also grown older and matured. Under
Mm.
Ole, yeah, they have Rashford seems slightly more calmer in front of the goal, only slightly, but still. Otherwise, I don't think he can improve any other players. It's only the strikers.
Mm.
Maybe I'm not seeing it, but I don't see
Usually,
much improvement in any
yeah.
other players.
It's unusual because normally a forward-thinking player You know, when they retire, they tend to be better at coaching defenders.
Defenses.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
normally
Klopp
and a
is a centre back.
defensive-minded one tends to be better at coaching attackers as a usual rule. So that's unusual, that. Mind how much of the coaching's he actually doing, and how much of it is down to feeling, etc.
Yeah.
I just hate the fact that he gets a lot of credit for that one goal. Just that one goal. I've even seen people saying he scored that goal, so I can't support anybody who replaces him. Come on.
Really? That's weird. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
get that. That should have no relevance to them as a manager. That's why I prefer to have managers who've never played for a club because then you can just judge them solely on their own merits.
yeah, and people criticize Real Madrid a lot for sacking managers, firing and hiring. But over there, even if you're Zidane, you're only as good as your few games.
Oh, I don't know. He's got away with
Sometimes
it.
even just your last game.
He's got away
Yeah,
with
but
it for a while, if you ask me, because he's not a
yeah,
good
but
manager.
he has the CV. He has the CV as a manager, and still, if 2 3 games they don't perform well, he's under pressure. But at United,
Well, he should be under
some
pressure now.
supporters they just don't want anybody to replace Ole. Everybody is at fault but Ole. I don't think
Yeah, but
every
did you see?
problem at the club is because of Ole, but Ole is a huge part of the problem as well.
True. But did you see what happened with Real Madrid midweek?
Oh, I watched that
Shakhtar
game, man.
Donetsk, they lost to him. And, Shakhtar Donetsk had half their team out with their COVID. So they only had half a team out. It was all
I think
Yeah,
he's
injuries
yeah.
and bits. Their
I
goalkeeper
think
was making his
there's a slight
debut.
pattern, man. Yeah, there was an 18-year-old
Yeah, the
as a
goalkeeper was
goalkeeper.
making his
There was a
debut.
19-year-old. I think there was a youngster in defense as well. They
But
had
they
13 or something like
I don't
that.
know if you saw any of
Yes,
it. I
that way.
watched bits of it, and they were tearing Real. Every time they went forward, it looked like they were going to score. Every time, and you're
Yeah, mate.
thinking
I
this
know.
is
I
embarrassing.
know, Chris. I know, Chris. You don't really rate Ramos and everything, but Varane looks completely useless when Ramos isn't there. I don't know what's happened to him.
I just don't think Varane's all he was cracked up to be. He's quick and he's strong, so people use that instead of positional sense. He hasn't got any, and for me, the best defenders have positional sense. That's why Harry Maguire isn't very good because he hasn't got positional sense. Doesn't matter how quick, and so you can't keep making up for.
He's not quick though.
Yeah, but I'm
Harry isn't
saying
quick.
you can't make up. Yeah, but that's just an extra problem. I'm saying if you're quick and strong, you can get away with it in the media. In the media's eyes, you get fated as a great defender because you can chase back and win a tackle. But for me, a great defender sees off the danger without needing to make a tackle most of the time.
And they were toothless in attack as well.
Mm.
Madrid were.
I
I
mean, they
watched
got
that
back
game.
to. But did you see at the end when they were doing they were reviewing because they scored an equaliser, Real
Oh yeah,
Madrid.
I know, I know.
Did you
Yeah, yeah.
watch the
With Fede
referee? He was
Valverde.
desperate to give it, and you could see him shaking his head, thinking, "Shit, I've got to disallow this." He was probably thinking, "God, I'm never going to work again in UEFA games, am I? If I disallow this." Real Madrid not, losing a game because of what a decision I've made. God, please show me another view of it. Please show me a view that doesn't make it offside. Please.
Honest, honestly, mate, I don't remember a single save from the Shakhtar goalkeeper.
No, he did
A
that. He
single
only had basically
significant
the two
save.
two goals were about all that Real Madrid created, and one of them was a wonder strike by Modric, wasn't it?
Oh, from Modric, yeah.
What a player
He
he
just
is.
rolled back the years.
Was, I should say. Anyway, yeah, sorry, we
And,
got sidetracked. I
oh, sorry,
blame
Yeah,
mate.
let's
Billy for
move on.
that.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah,
It
Newcastle.
was it
That's
was a
Billy, that's your
decent.
fault that was us sidetracking. You're supposed to keep us in line.
I should have, yeah.
Yeah, you're the older, experienced head that should keep us on track.
Right,
Yeah,
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
I was just
Who
looking
did
at
they
their.
bring in?
I mean,
Okay,
Callum
Wilson.
Wilson for 20 million. I don't see the point in that. Injury prone. He's done all right, like, but
I think he's
Jamal
done okay.
Lewis is
He's done
good.
better than what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. He's done better, but they're not looking good. They're starting to struggle now. They started well, but now they're fading badly. I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they'll survive, but I don't think they brought in enough quality.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
think the
convinced.
failed, yeah,
Jeff
I
Hendrick
think the
and
failed
Ryan
takeover
Fraser
just
on
hurt him.
threes. Sorry, go on, Deep.
The failed takeover just hurt them because I don't think Ashley was planning to be here to do business.
No, they would. They're a bit in limbo, aren't they, at the moment? Because they want to take over. Oh, have I gone? Has everyone gone, or is that? I think my internet's gone off. I'm sorry for this. So we'll just have to. I'll just have to fill in. Yeah, it doesn't look like they really are prepared for Ashley's future. Really, they just look like a team that are treading water and waiting for someone new to come in and take charge. A bit like me waiting now for the.
Mostly highlights some of the games.
Sorry, my VPN went off. So
All right.
Yeah, you were saying something about
yeah, I
Ashley.
carried on saying it anyway. So you just carry on with what you were saying. Don't worry about it.
We're talking about
Yeah,
how bad
they
Joe
both.
Linton is.
Oh, but he wasn't that hopeless before joining Newcastle. He was decent enough. Not 40 million pounds, but still he was decent.
They only
But
spent
now he
20.
can't. Sorry?
20 million they spent on Callum Wilson. Is that who you're talking about?
No, no, no. No, we're
Joe,
talking about Joe Linton.
Oh, Joe Linton. Oh, that was last year.
yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
how bad he is. How
Yeah,
bad
he's
he is that
awful.
he has to be replaced with
But that's
Callum
why
Wilson.
Rafa didn't want him. He said he wasn't good. And
Yeah, and
when
Ashley was adamant about him.
Ashley was adamant he wanted to buy him and said he was going to take the money out of Rafa's budget, and Rafa was saying, "No, I don't want to spend a penny on him. He's crap." So
Yeah.
Ashley said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'll cover half of it, and you pay and take the rest out of your transfer budget." And that was when Rafa just said, "No, I don't want. I want to buy the players I want to pick." And that was when the
Hello,
discussions
yeah.
ended with him getting a new contract. Rafa decided he'd just walk away. Then it's just not worth it if Ashley's going to make the decisions.
Guys,
You
don't you
know,
think it's a really easy club to take over Newcastle?
No, I don't think I wouldn't want
No,
to
no,
take.
no. What I'm saying is, when you take over, you can just sack whoever the manager is, bring back Rafa Benitez, and the whole city will be behind you.
Yeah, but you've got to get Rafa back. I mean, he's in China being
he'll
paid a
go back,
fortune,
I don't think.
remember?
He's not going
Yeah,
back while
but
Ashley's
but
there,
he
is
will come back.
I'd
He
come
will
back
come
in a
back if
shot,
you
to be
promise
fair.
him enough.
To be close to
Yeah,
Liverpool
enough.
again, he'd
Yeah.
come back in a shot, to be honest, because that's where all his family still are.
Maybe he can come back to United.
United, yeah, they could offer him a job. He said before now he'd take the job at United.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was private discussions or public, but he's definitely said he would consider it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think
But
I don't
but
think
he wouldn't be
United
the
would
one I would take
employ him.
though.
You got to remember he took the Chelsea job, and when he was in charge of Liverpool, Chelsea were the main rivals.
Yeah, and the supporters quite hated him.
No, Liverpool, the Chelsea supporters did, and
Yeah,
that was the
Chelsea
problem.
supporters. Yeah,
Yeah, they never
yeah.
gave him a
Even
chance.
when you win, yeah, even when they win, they were still like Rafa
Yeah,
out, Rafa out.
I just didn't get their attitude from the start. I mean, could have given the man a chance, hadn't you?
Yeah, if you get him, he's your man, isn't
Apparently not in that case. As for anyway, sorry. Back to
Newcastle.
Newcastle. They're out. They didn't really get rid of anybody they needed to. So
Nobody significant, no any money coming in.
yeah, they didn't do anything business out. So they were kind of stuck with a lot of dross players, and I'm just not convinced of
he?
what they did. I mean, it was just cheap padding the squad, wasn't it? Bringing in Hendrick and Fraser for me, even though Hendrick seems to be playing every week, and I don't get it. I just don't see the Hendrick thing. Is it just me?
But don't you think he's typical Steve Bruce player?
Yeah, very average,
Average,
experienced.
works hard,
Not going to improve it,
doesn't
Hendricks.
let you down, and everything.
Yeah, he doesn't really offer anything, does he? He's not particularly
No,
skillful. He's not particularly strong. He's not fast. He's not particularly good in the air. He's not a good goal scorer. I mean, you watch him and you just think I just don't see what he offers to improve their team, and yet he's first choice. Bizarre.
Yeah, very underwhelming again, and the signings, but that's Newcastle, I'm afraid, of the way they are under Ashley, and that's not going to change any time shortly, I don't think.
Yeah, because I can't see them getting taken over by anyone else.
I can't know.
There's more chance of it
Yeah,
being
but
Liverpool being bought out.
Newcastle are running a very thin, very tight rope. Just
Yeah,
trying to stay in the league. Just trying to stay in the league. One of these years, you're again gonna.
I think this year, because of the mess, with the thing, this year could be could cause them problems if they have a big load of injuries. They could sink badly because they're already struggling, and pretty much everyone's fit. So.
I think
By the way, Ken needs to. I wish Ken was here because Bamford's missed a load of sitters again for Leeds, hasn't he? He was saying how great he thinks Bamford's going to be for them. I wish he was here. Anyway,
but he was offering Bamford up to me.
Yeah, he reckons he's brilliant.
For Nepal.
He's awful. So anyway, Sheffield United next then.
Oh, they've dipped, haven't they? They've really dipped. And, I can't put my finger on why they've gone from such a combative, really good side to someone who's looking awful.
Injuries. Their defence was settled all season until when the COVID hit, they came back and they had a disrupted back three, and they never got in their back. Their three top choice centre backs. At times they only had one of them in for the entire project restart. And this season again they've missed when they did get them back together. One of them just got a serious injury and is probably going to be out for the season. And they just haven't got replacements for their best players.
You haven't got a squad, have they? You've got a decent side, but you haven't got a squad.
Yeah, I mean, your team like that, and they don't have a goal scorer. That was the problem. They brought Brewster in to hopefully fix that. And the other issue, obviously, is goalkeeper. Ramsdale's not anywhere near ready yet. He might be, because he's only 22. So he might turn into a good keeper, but right now he's nowhere near good enough for the Premier League.
No, he isn't. No.
Yeah, they didn't have a great attack last year, and the defense, they've lost personnel.
Yeah, they were fine when that was strong, weren't
they? But I trust Wilder to conjure up something, so they'll probably stay up.
Yeah, I don't know. He's brought in a lot of players that,
but he's
to mix and match the team a bit at the moment. It's going to take a while to get together, I think.
And the defense can't seem to catch a break. Every game somebody gets injured.
Yeah, exactly. They brought in that Ampadu, but he's not really. I like him a lot.
He's a midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder, I think.
He was a centre back, but he didn't go. Chelsea feel he hasn't grown tall enough. That's the problem. He hasn't grown tall enough for them to think of him as a centre back. So they think of him as a defensive midfielder. That was what.
But don't you think it's quite wrong to say someone isn't tall enough when some of the greats?
Yeah, but it depends.
Centre backs are.
It depends on
well below 6 feet, mate.
It's not because he's not. They think he was good enough to play either position, but because he hasn't grown the height, they've got other players who can play in their youth teams and that, and their reserve squads and the players out on loan that they can develop as centre halves who are taller. So why not develop him in another position? Is what they're thinking, where they can see him being, because they don't need a centre back of that age, is how they're looking at it. They've got other options.
He's about 6 foot. And Malang Shah is just about 6 foot as well. I think Shah and Ampadu, I don't think there's much between them in terms of height.
No, I'm with you. I don't think it's a problem myself. I don't see it as an issue, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I've been told that the issue is with him. They see him as a
Yeah,
defensive midfielder.
I personally would prefer my centre backs to be 6'2", 6'3", maybe even 6'4", 6'5". The taller, the better. But come on,
I don't care as long as
we've
if they could
seen
jump. I think
plenty.
that makes no difference.
No.
Yeah, but what you're saying is, would you rather Van Dijk be 6'4", or 5'11"?
Yeah, but
You'd rather him
what
be
I'm
six
saying
foot four.
is,
But if
you
he is
play
as
them
good
where they're
as Van
best.
Dijk is, yeah. I think we're trying to say similar things.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be better if he was 2 inches taller. But he's not like 5'5". He's
yeah,
above 6 foot.
yeah.
And
The
everybody
thing is,
like
though, he is a
like
very
I
good
think I
defensive
think we might
midfielder.
talk about him sometime. Diet Upamecano. Everybody's like, oh, he's a physical specimen and everything. He's 6'1".
Yeah, yeah. Again, but he's
It's
quick and he
not. It's
jumps off
not
the
that.
ground well, so he doesn't need the
Yeah,
extra inches.
yeah. He's not like that tall for a
No,
centre back. He's still very dominant.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
whether he's good enough as a centre back.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't disagree with you. I just think that I'm just saying why Chelsea see him as a defensive midfielder rather than a centre back as choice. But he's been playing at centre back mainly for Sheffield United as right side of a back three, I think, hasn't he? When I've seen them. So
Yeah.
I like
I
him. I think
think
he's an
he
excellent
made
player, but I
one
don't
or
think
two
he's the
years.
answer to when you've got an unsettled midfield, unsettled defence to have a lone player. It's not the answer. It's too short term for it. That's a desperate measure for me, and just shows
And
how
lone
difficult it is
players,
for Chris
yeah.
Wilder to compete.
And when you're down at the bottom, lone players don't get enough chances
Mm. Well,
because
he can't
they
afford
don't
to take
have
a
to
risk.
impress. Yeah, they don't have to impress as much to stay in the team, whether you get relegated or maybe next season, even if you stay up.
I think for them, they're pinning all their hopes on Ryan Brewster scoring them goals, and I'm not convinced that he's quite ready at 20 years old to be a rescue act in the Premier League.
He's got to get the service as well, Tris, hasn't he? He's not going to
Exactly.
score goals if he doesn't get the service.
Yeah, and Wilder has taken a lot of risk with guys with dodgy attitudes, and it's not a good thing if you're struggling.
Well, I've noticed he's got offloaded a few this summer.
But he's again brought in one or two guys with similar issues.
Who's he brought in this summer?
Ollie Burke.
No, Ollie Burke's not got a problem attitude, mate. That's not true. That's unfair. He works very, very hard. His problem is he's thick as pig shit. Honestly, he's. They called him empty hard drive when he played in. Was it Hoffenheim he went to in Germany or wherever it was?
No, Leipzig.
Leipzig. Sorry,
Leipzig.
yeah. Yeah, when he was there, because he literally could not learn the instructions. He couldn't understand the instructions he was given because they're quite complicated, the instructions they give players. So he
And I think he
couldn't
went there
understand it. He
under
just needs
Rafa.
to be told
uh,
either, if he's playing on the wing, get down the wing, cross it in. That's it. He doesn't need any, when it starts getting complicated, he hasn't got a clue because it's too thick.
I think when he went to Leipzig, it was Hasenhuttl, and Hasenhuttl has quite complex system.
Yeah, and
So
they're
no wonder he didn't go.
yeah, they tend to have German players tend to be intelligent and well educated, whereas British players, as a rule, are not uneducated and not very bright, which is a bit of a problem when they go abroad. Which is why so many need to go abroad to get themselves an
Yeah,
education.
a change of culture, change of
Yeah,
your mindset, your outlook on things. They change. Yeah,
yeah,
going
a
abroad
lot
is
more needed.
something good for everyone, not just footballers. I think it's a good experience for everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So anyway, should we move on from Sheffield United? I think we've finished with them.
Yeah, yeah.
And who's next?
Again, they didn't say anybody significant.
they didn't have anyone to sell, to be honest. They got rid of Ravel Morrison though, so that's a good thing.
Oh
Yeah.
man, what
At
he is
least
the
the watches will be
quintessential
safe
what
in the
could have been.
changing room.
He's the bad apple.
Yeah, they can leave their stuff out in the changing room again, and it's safe.
It will get robbed, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been
Southampton,
some player,
it could have been. He's
Morrison, but
not though, is he? Let's be honest. He's never going to be either because he just hasn't got the attitude to put the effort in.
he just doesn't know what he has.
Oh, he knows what he has. That's the problem. He thinks he's better than he doesn't need to put in the effort, and that's where the problem lies. He thinks he's the full package already, instead of realizing that you've got to work and become the full package. Having talent is not the full thing.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what he has because he has a lot of talent and he has a lot of opportunities. That's not something you or I can say for ourselves. He just doesn't know what opportunities he had. He doesn't even have them now.
He just doesn't care, to me. I think is the problem.
Yeah.
I think he was in the wrong circles and then everything just spiraled down.
Yeah.
So
I'd agree with that.
So should we move on to Southampton anyway?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure
Who
what to
take
think of
more?
them.
Do we know anything
Theo
about
Walcott,
Diallo, this defensive
strange one.
midfielder?
Diallo looks like a decent player from what I've seen of him, but I haven't seen that much of him to really, to really make a
No
final
concrete,
decision
yeah.
on him. But he doesn't look a bad player. Who else? Kyle Walker-Peters looks a good long-term prospect.
Yeah, he looks a decent kid.
I've not seen Salisu play.
Yeah, I think he's out injured, so they need him back.
Who?
They need him back. The
Salisu.
defense,
Yeah.
yeah, they need someone because the defense is suffering.
Yeah, they've got no pace at the back, which is a big problem with the way Hasenhüttl wants to play.
They're very good up
And
front.
I think Hasenhüttl wanted another centre back. He wanted, I think, Hinteregger.
Yes, I think so. Somebody, I can't remember. It might
Yeah,
be.
I think he wanted Hinteregger, but A2 is always, whenever someone asks him about Hinteregger, he says his centre back partner is the better option.
And he wanted
So I don't know what he's saying.
Tom Davies from Everton as well, and ended up with Theo Walcott as well. I'm not sure how that works, but
we needed to get rid of him, and Southampton took him off our hands.
Yeah.
Chris, explain this to me. You think Tom Davies is decent?
Yeah.
No,
I do.
He's worth the time. I think he's someone worth the investment. Why does nobody at Everton think he's decent enough?
Do you know why? Because he's too lightweight for the Premiership. He loses the ball too many times. I watch him week in, week out, and he gives the ball away far too easily and is easily brushed off the ball. I think the kid's got talent, and in a couple of years, he might turn into a decent player. But at the moment, he's an absolute liability for Everton. So
then maybe don't you think you should try moving him into another position?
I can't see what other position he'd play.
Right back, you have space
He's not
there.
strong enough to be a fullback. He can't tackle.
All right when he played there, when he covered.
No. I think he can be a decent cover for right back, but he can't cover for 2%.
I'm not a fan. I'll be honest with you. I've watched a lot of Tom Davies coming through, and from the youth, and I always thought he was going to be a better player than what he's turned out. It might be a bit presumptuous of me, but he hasn't kicked on like I thought he would, and I think he's disappointed people.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not saying he can't. He could do, and I think going away would help him.
Do you not think the problem he's had is that he's in and out of the team all the time? And he probably needed someone to say,
different managers.
Just play. Just get in there and settle in and show us what you can do.
But he's into the team for a reason. He gets chances and he blows them.
Yeah, but
and I'm afraid that's the way it's been.
You can't get, if you don't get in there and develop a partnership with the players over a period of time, you do play badly. It's you develop. That's why Liverpool last season won so easily, because they had a settled side. It wasn't because it wasn't because they were that much better than Man City that they won so easy. It's because they keep a settled side, whereas City keep constantly rotating their team, and so they're not making the most of the players they've got. And
Yeah, no one wants to see that.
I think that's the problem with Davis. He hasn't been able to get a chance of just being able to stay in the team and constantly play and
Yeah,
play
but
his
last,
way into a
Southampton,
relationship.
please, Southampton.
Yeah,
well,
I'm
yeah,
just saying maybe he'd have got that at Southampton and it would have been a good thing.
yeah, I think it'd have been a good
That's what I
move
was
for him.
going to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it'd
and I
have been
think
a good move.
But
he would have gotten a chance at midfield because they needed someone
they
there to
couldn't
replace.
loan two players from one club anyway, so that's why it was Theo Walcott or him, and Theo Walcott was
But I
desperate
think
for the move.
it's
Tom
the
Davis wasn't
minute
keen.
thing to get rid of him.
Well, he
I think
wanted to
that's
go
why he
back
went
home
there.
with Walcott. He wanted to go home
Yeah,
But
anyway.
but
yeah.
I don't think Walcott is that suited to the system at
No,
Southampton
I don't think
right
he's
now.
suited to any system. I don't rate him at
No,
all.
no.
So, so
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
it's like I don't think the only. I mean, I was looking at. I don't understand why they sold Harrison Reed either. I can understand why they got rid of Lamina because he's been extremely disappointing. Hoke's so
Dodgy
slow.
attitude. Dodgy attitude with Lamina as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
He's
That's
come
why
with
I
a good
get rid of him.
reputation as well. I
Yeah, he's
mean,
got quality, but he's got a real problem attitude. He's really hard work. But Harrison
is
Reed, he
that what it
works
is?
hard. He's exactly what they need. He presses and pushes around. You know what I mean? He's what they were missing. Southampton, I think, would have been him in midfield right now. Whereas Højbjerg, I think they're probably better off without him because he thought he was too big for them.
Yeah, he's awful.
I
Oh,
don't think he's
I could
awful. I
like
quite
him. I
like him.
quite like him.
I quite
I don't
like him
like
as
him.
well. I just don't think he's the right choice for Spurs. I don't think he's that good.
But I think he's the right choice for Mourinho though.
Possibly, yeah, you probably got a point there. Yeah,
And right now at Spurs, I think Mourinho is getting a lot more say than he used to at United. I think he's a typical Mourinho player. Maybe he won't be good enough when someone replaces Mourinho,
He's a
but right now
grafter.
he's decent.
He's a grafter, but nothing else for me. He hasn't got quality. He will work hard, but he hasn't got quality to be a top class midfielder.
no, not quite top
I,
class. He's not a bad passer of the ball and that, but he's not top class at anything. He's not got enough about him, and he's not mobile enough to be really top class. I
yeah,
Yeah,
think.
I
he
think
may not be top. He may not be top class, but he's good, decent enough to be in a top team though.
So while we're on the subject of him, should we just move on to Spears as we're talking about him
yeah,
anyway? Yeah, while we're doing it.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
just in Southampton, I saw they lost a lot of players for free whom they had bought for significant
Yeah, but
sum
they
of
were
money.
players they wanted rid of rather than they were players they've lost, if you see what I mean. Does
No
that make
what?
sense? They were players they wanted to get rid of, and they just couldn't get a fee
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them. So it's
exactly.
saving
When we're
wage bill.
talking about yeah, yeah,
This,
exactly. When we're talking about United, Liverpool, we should have done
yes,
a similar thing.
yeah,
Save the
exactly.
money, just let them go.
Yeah, especially at
Get
this
rid.
time, it's the COVID thing. It's made it difficult for clubs to pay money for anyone, so you just have to get what you can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's better to say it's better to get rid of players that don't really stand a chance in the first team
Yeah,
than to
get them
get
off the
rid of
wage bill.
55 staffs. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like you did with Alexis Sanchez. It was the right thing. Let him go.
just move on.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to Spurs.
Plus,
I'm not sure about
yeah.
their signings. I mean, Doherty doesn't seem to fit. He's not a particularly good
he's
right
not a right
back.
back.
He's not a good right
He's
back,
a
is he? I don't.
he's a wing back.
Yeah.
He's not a full back.
Joe Hart's dreadful. Sergio
But
Reguilon, I'm not convinced by. But
And
I've got.
Gareth Bale?
but everybody says we missed the boat with Region. I just don't know.
No, I'm not convinced by him. I mean, he doesn't seem to be able. I don't know. I'm not convinced by him. I'd need to watch him a lot more to be sure, but there's something about him I'm not convinced by. I don't really think he's a bit headless chickenish for me. Runs around a lot
Yeah,
without achieving anything.
it two things. I think I don't think it's his opinion. I think he's been told by a scout that he doesn't have much of a right foot, so he might struggle in the long run.
Hmm. And that
Yeah,
It's not
it's
my
just do it.
opinion.
the
It's not
Bale
my
one.
opinion. It's something from him,
So what do we think
from
of
it too.
Bale signing for them? Do we think that's a good move, or do you think
You
he's
can't
just
tell
going to
right
spend the
now.
season injured as he already started off with?
You
Yeah,
can't
but
say right now what happens with him.
and it's costing a lot of money, and I don't know whether he's got the heart in it. I think he prefers golf now to football, and I don't know, a bit of a luxury signing, I'd say. But if he does well, good luck to him. But I don't know whether he will.
But I don't think you can even say it's a luxury signing because if the move fails, then I think Spurs might be in a little bit of a trouble
Who do?
financially and all.
Oh, finance? Nah, they've got billions behind them with Enish.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've got
Leeds are
money.
winning against Villa. So Everton will still be
Who
top of the
scored?
league if this stays this way.
Oh
Oh,
God,
Billy,
Billy!
are you
Live
happy? Are
reactions
you
from
happy? Is
Billy.
that a big grin I can hear breaking out?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, dreadful goalkeeping. Bad goalkeeping that was. Should have held that.
So is it 1-0 to Leeds, is it?
Yeah, 1-0 to
Martinez.
Leeds. At Villa as well. Stuart
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't good play, but Villa don't look anything like us. They're really struggling against Villa. Oh my God, it's not Bamford, is it? Oh, fucking jinxed him, haven't we? Ken will be
Yeah,
on
you
telling us how
jinxed him.
great he is because he scored from 2.5 yards out.
You
Great goal
jinxed him.
scorer. Oh
Ken
God.
will be made up.
Yeah, that'll teach me. It's because I opened my mouth. It's the curse, isn't it? It always happens. You say
I've been
something about
said that
someone
about
and they have
you.
to prove you wrong, don't they? Yeah, if I'd have said he was a great goal scorer, he'd have fluffed that 16 yards over the bar, wouldn't he? Anyway, yes, sorry, we're about Spears
Chris, mate.
anyway.
Chris, have you seen much of the centre back Spurs
Rodon,
side, Joe Rodon? Yeah.
only a little bit because of watching Ryan Brewster last season.
Yeah. That is why I was asking.
Yeah, I watched the games Brewster was in because I think I might have done a player profile on Brewster.
Yeah.
That's why I was
I think
watching
you
him.
have.
So I only really watched. I wasn't really watching like what Rodon did, but he did seem very calm and accomplished from what I saw. Looked a Premier League player, and I know he was highly rated there. So, but
And he's quite tall.
Jose plays a system that usually helps, and they desperately needed a centre back. Let's be honest, because that Davinson Sanchez is.
Yeah.
Awful.
If Rodon turns out to be decent, then it will be a decent window for them.
What do you think of that Vinicius?
Never seen him play.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him play.
he played this week. That's why I was asking last night. So I wondered what you thought. I wondered if you'd seen it. He's getting rave reviews, but he's 25 years old. I thought he was like 19 or something. So it suddenly doesn't seem that big. I don't know. It's a bit odd at 25, but if he works out, he works out.
At 25, and you're going
From
to a
Benfica
club
to Spurs on loan because they're
to
not
be
sure.
a backup.
Hmm?
To be a certified backup because
Exactly.
come on, he's not gonna replace Harry Kane as long as he's there.
Yeah, but you're going to get a lot of games in Europe and the Cups because of the shortened season and that. Because there's no way Kane's going to stay fit for the season as well. He never does he? He always gets injured. So he'll have an ankle injury in a few weeks. So
Massive fan of Harry.
I am now. He's back to playing how he should do.
Yeah, he's making goals as well as scoring.
And that's when he's at his best. He's not he's not just a goal scorer, and he forgot that for a couple of seasons. He got carried away. He got so obsessed with getting the golden boot that he completely forgot about his, playing his game. When he drops off and he plays, because he even wears a number 10 because he likes to play. He likes to create as well. And For
He's
me,
good.
that's when he's at his best, when he creates and scores. He's a brilliant player now. But last few
Yeah.
seasons he'd been forgetting that, and now he's back playing brilliant player. I'm really glad to see it. If it wasn't for the fact he's playing for Spurs.
I think the rest he had because of the break in play, I think it helped him recuperate from his injury as well.
Yeah, I think
Like
he needed
every
it.
time he gets injured, Spurs just rush him back as soon as they can.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. He did need a break because
Yeah,
he's
he got an
always
elongated break away from football.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's a good point. And it helps work. I think that's one thing Mourinho does do is he expects his target man, his main forward, to play a lot more for the team than Kane was being asked in the past as well. I think that's helped.
I don't
Yeah.
think there are many better centre forwards for Mourinho in the world right now.
I think there's
No,
only
no,
one
you're
better
probably
centre
right.
forward in the world, and that's Lewandowski. Full stop.
Oh yeah,
If you say, I'm saying like centre forwards, obviously I'm talking about just pure centre forwards. I think you'd have to say there's only Lewandowski better right now.
Yeah.
and Kane has a really good partnership with Son.
Oh, Son, I love Son.
Yeah, he's a good
Yeah,
player.
yeah, we've been raving. I think Son is the first genuine Asian player who's there by his merit, not by his nationality, not by his sponsorship. Different
Nakata was probably the
associations.
first.
Maybe, but I think Son is the
He just
first.
didn't work out. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I think he's the first player who would have still made it to the top, whether he was English,
Yeah,
Korean,
no,
Chinese,
I agree. That
Serbian,
fantastic
whoever.
player, hard-working, fast, skillful. I've seen, watching him in the Asian Championship for South Korea a few years ago before he moved over here. I was just absolutely falling in love with watching him play because he's just brilliant to watch.
He's
Really
Yeah,
quality
is.
player.
I've been following him from his Leverkusen days on and off,
Mm,
and I think he genuinely, if not world class, he's genuinely near the
mm.
top level.
I'd agree
And
with
his
that.
and his and his best attribute is he's a hard worker and everything, but he's 2-footed. He works hard for the team, but he also knows that he can do he can perform under pressure as well.
And you can play him in any of the three forward positions, and he'll four, in fact, if you count like 9, 10 left and right forwards. He can play any of them four positions and be brilliant in them.
Yeah,
Not a
he's a
good
good
left
player.
wing back, admittedly. When he's played there, he'd struggled, but
He's a goal scorer. He's a
yeah,
goal scorer,
exactly. Why
so
would
he
you?
would struggle.
I mean, that was bizarre. Why did Pochettino put him there? That was bizarre. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Tottenham. That's. I think we've done all we need to on Tottenham, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's just going to
Who's
come down
next?
to Bale, I think, as to whether their transfers are judged as a success or not at the
Yeah,
end of the
there's
day.
yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
he stays fit and
Also,
Definitely.
whether he
mate,
can be
just
asked.
just one last thing.
Uh-oh.
What's up with Ryan Sessegnon?
Ryan
He's
Sessegnon. Well, he
fallen
went
off a
out to
cliff.
Hoffenheim,
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah, but he was near the England setup at one point, and now he's just fallen off a cliff. Just
Yeah, he has
I
disappeared
think it was the wrong
almost.
move for him. That's it. It's that simple. Spurs was the wrong place for him to go. He made a mistake. For my money, I just think he chose the wrong move.
maybe.
Okay, let's see how he does in Bundesliga. Hoffenheim
Right.
are a decent side.
Hmm.
Right. Who are we on to next, Chris?
It's West Brom. I'm not being funny, but
Relegation.
yeah, they're just fighting relegation. It's just whether they can finish 17th or not, or whether they're in the relegation places all yet and say. Gotta say, I do like that Mateus Pereira they've signed. Not convinced by any others, Carlin Grant or Dean Garner. I know the West Ham fans were up in arms about the Dean Garner sale, but I don't understand why. I'm not impressed with him at all. He's all right, but he's nothing special. And Ivanovic, what's that all about? He's 36 and he was past his best when he went. You know, when he left Chelsea, he was already about 6 years past his best.
That was a strange one, wasn't it? It was a strange one, man.
Yeah. Getting
I
five
know,
and a
Chris,
half
you think
million for
Fulham are worse.
Sorry? Go on.
Chris, you think Fulham are the worst team in the league, but I think if you swap Slaven Bilic for Parker, West Brom are horrible. In my opinion, they're the worst team in the league.
Oh yeah, they're the worst team as in terms of the quality of squad, but Fulham are the worst team because Parker's an imbecile and he won't play passing forwards at all. You just watch the team and it's constantly sideways, 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 sideways. It's passing for passing's sake. Parker's an awful coach. I don't know how they got up because when I watched them, every time I watched them in the Championship, and in the playoffs, I just thought they're awful. They really are a
Yeah,
dreadful
but mate,
side, and they got flood. They just seem to get all the luck to get up.
mate, come on. They had the best squad in the championship and they still struggle to make the
Yeah,
top two.
they're
They
not a
came
good.
up with playoffs. That is a damning indication.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I don't understand why Scott Parker's got a job, to be honest.
But going back to
Maybe it's too much for the
who gives you hope for them?
That Mateus
nobody.
Pereira gives me
Nobody
hope
significant.
for them. He's a quality player, and the fact that there's a lot of teams in a lot of trouble. Burnley, the manager and the chairman are at loggerheads. Sheffield United are struggling to find anyone to score goals and can't keep a defence fit. Fulham are dreadful. Palace are struggling. Man United aren't far off them, actually, for that matter. 15th, are they? Cool. There's a lot of reason to be hopeful because obviously Newcastle are on the slide already. If West Brom and you can just hang in there, I think they might just surprise a few. Because I've been really impressed with that Pereira. I don't know if you've seen any of West Brom, but he's
a better
player. He looks a bit too good for West Brom, if you ask me. One of those where you think won't be long before somebody will be in for him.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of them, Deep?
Yeah, I watched the game against Everton, and he scored a really good free kick.
Yeah, it was a good free kick, though.
Yeah, but
Oh my God!
West Brom are
just
quite.
scored again. I don't believe this.
Oh,
Oh, for God's sake. Right, that's it. I'm blocking Ken on WhatsApp. Oh,
you should ban
God's
him.
sake.
You
He's
should ban
just
him
scored
from
a
the
cracking
side.
goal.
Come on.
I'm not having
Oh
this.
no.
Trust
No.
me. I should never have opened my mouth. As soon as I said he's crap.
Abid was right. Abid was right about you, Tris.
I'm a jinx.
You're a jinx.
Yeah. I must be.
No, Chris, I think it was me who jinxed him.
Yeah,
I
it
said
is. It's actually, to be
he
fair,
isn't
it's
even
Deep.
good enough for us, and now he's got two again. Oh no.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, it probably is Deep that's jinxed it because he is a jinx. We've already established that. Since he was on, when he was on the pod, since then we've not been able to get people together to do another one. Remember? Because all the families got. I mean, Billy can tell you, he's had a few, family, haven't you, illnesses and that since Deep was on. And Ken's wife, I mean, she even dropped a plant pot on her foot to save Ken from having to do another pod with you.
Yeah.
It's Deep. It's definitely Deep. He's the problem. Said we should have banned him last time. We said that. We should have banned him. Oh, Marcello's on his bucket. I do love Bielsa. There's just something about him. You can't help it. It's just fantastic to watch. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I got distracted there. I mean, apart from Pereira, though, I do think they've got a problem. They haven't really got any real quality in their side. So
No, they haven't.
And they can't seem to keep a clean sheet at all. Every time somebody attacks them, they just look vulnerable.
Yeah, they get ripped apart. But I mean, that's just the problem when you're a side like them and you want to play football. You can't afford the quality of players at the back to keep the goals out when you do go forward. So you just have to hope that you can get away with it, really, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, their only aim is to finish 17th anyway. So
yeah, they're got 17th. Yeah.
There's plenty of worse teams there that they could potentially beat. So as long as Ole stays in a job, they've got hope there as well, haven't they? So. So
Right.
Wolves then?
We finished with Wolves. Sorry, yeah. Wolves.
Oh, you'd nearly forgotten them.
Yeah, no, they did forget Wolves. No, they're a good side, aren't they? They are a good side. But I'm surprised they let Jota go. To be honest with you.
Well, he'd been out of the side for a while. They got that Neto and who started another young
Podence. Daniel
yeah.
Podence.
Yeah, they pushed him out of the side. So I think personally, that's probably more what it is. A case of he wasn't going to be first choice for them. He's going to struggle, so it works out. But I think it's a good move for Wolves, to be honest. They got what they needed. A player who can cover right back, right wing back, right-sided centre-half.
Right centre back.
Hoover,
yeah.
And that was the down payment from Liverpool. So they basically got him for free.
Has he been Hoover, Trish? Has Hoover been playing?
Yeah, he's had a few
Not
games.
really.
Oh, has he? Yeah.
Yeah, he played.
I haven't seen much of Wolves.
Maybe I didn't.
He's had a few sub appearances, and he played. I'm sure he started the last game. I'm sure I saw him starting.
Oh.
But I think Liverpool probably would have benefited by keeping him.
No, he needed to play football, and he wasn't going to play.
I'm saying Liverpool would have. I think Liverpool would have benefited, not him.
No, I'm saying he wouldn't have benefited because he wouldn't have played any games. Who's he going to replace?
I think it's better. I think it's better than Nico Williams, and he can cover a centre back
as well. But he's not but he doesn't play the style of football that Liverpool use at right back, so he wouldn't have got a game. Nico Williams is ahead of him because he played. While I believe as well, like you, that Hoover's a better right back, he doesn't play the same attacking right wing back role that Klopp likes from his right back, so he wouldn't have got a game. So I don't think there would have been any point in keeping him. I think it's the best move for all concerned, and good luck to the lad.
But don't you think it's better to have a slightly different option as a backup, though?
Well, it depends on whether in a normal season you'd say that.
Because come on, Chris, you can't have.
But this season it's going to be about rotation. You're going to need someone to slot in.
But whoever you
Trent at times.
But whoever you bring in, is not going to be Trent. Come on.
Nico Williams about as close as you get, though. He's very similar. He's
very
similar.
There's a myth out there that Trent is bad defensively. He's not. Now Nico Williams.
He isn't
now. There is someone who is hopeless.
He was at the same. When he first burst through, he was terrible defensively. He was always getting caught out. Now he's worked on it and become better. Nico Williams is at the stage where Trent was when he came in. Except Trent was coming in as a midfielder, being used at right back because we had no right backs. Nico Williams
and Trent was younger,
who's now being used at right back because we haven't, because we had no cover, and he's turned out to be a decent attacking right wing back. He just needs time to build, to learn the position. That's all.
I think Hoover is the better option. Even now, I think it would have been better to have him over Williams.
I like him, but I don't see the point in keeping a player that's never going to get a game. Just makes no sense.
Yeah.
If he'd have played him, if there was a chance he'd have got played, yeah, I'd fully agree with you. Keep him if he's going to be the backup, but he wasn't going to be the backup option. He's behind Nico Williams, so it would have just been wasting wages and wasting the lad's career. And it's a chance for him to not only that, but it's made the only reason we could get the Jota move through is because they wanted him in part exchange. So otherwise we wouldn't have been able to make it happen because we didn't have the money to pay a down payment. We didn't have the cash with the COVID situation. So we had to be creative. So who would I rather have in the squad, Kiani Hoover or Diogo Jota? I would choose Jota. Much as I like Hoover, oh my God, he's got a freaking hat trick. I don't believe this.
No, I'm not. Oh, no.
I don't believe this. I'm going to... Oh, that's it. Block Ken. How do you block someone on WhatsApp? That's it. Ken's never on the podcast again. I don't believe I've seen this. He's been missing oh Jesus Christ! This is not happening. Please tell me I
So
missaw it and it was somebody else.
so basically, what you need, Billy, right now is you need me to say that Everton are worst team in the league. They won't win anything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
Tell him they'll
yeah.
fade away in a couple of weeks, and then they'll just go stronger and stronger. It's a great goal, to be fair. Not just the finish, but the build-up and everything. That was really good football. Leeds are really good to watch. Fair play. But anyway, back to Wolves. What
Bielsa,
about Fabio Silva?
Bielsa
Have you
is
seen
fun.
much of him?
Nobody has seen much of him made. He has only made handful of appearances for
Hmm.
Porto. But what I've seen, what I've read about him is in Portugal he's regarded to be at least as good as Joao Felix.
Yeah, well, most people think he's better from what I've read.
Yeah,
But
at least as good.
hmm,
Even the most ardent Joao Felix supporters, fans, even they say that he's at least as good.
yeah, but that doesn't mean he'll grow to be. But he's in the Wonder Boy thing, Golden Boy thing, isn't he? He's in the
Golden boy, yeah.
But I'm not convinced that that's that good, considering Trent's never won it. You got to question you got to question that when Trent Alexander-Arnold's never won it, and at 20 he was surely head and shoulders above
Mate,
anybody of his age.
I don't understand the award because Mbappe qualified for it and yet Matthias de Ligt won. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Again, well, Mbappe never won it when Delict did. I mean, he's not even a great player. Delict. He's never been a great player. It's bizarre. It's an odd thing that. Anyway, yeah, we're digressing again. Yeah, Silva looks like he's going to be great for the future. What about Semedo? Have you seen much of him at Barcelona? Oh, don't tell me you've gone again. You bloody have. And one Semedo, not much of a defender, so should be perfect for right wing back. Though he does. Though the worry I have with him is their
So
tactics.
Ken doesn't get in
Sorry,
touch.
sorry, you
No, you
cut
went.
off again then.
No,
Yeah,
you cut off.
you cut off. Me and Deep were okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's me that's recorded it. Remember, so
Oh
it only
yeah.
matters it only matters if I can hear it.
we s-
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
we were saying
on the topic
Ken,
of Golden Boy, what they did was
Ken.
because Mbappe won 1 year, so they just said next year he's too good for this award, so let's not consider
Yeah,
him.
that's how it feels like. Which isn't the way it should be.
Yeah, it's like saying, okay, Messi scored 91 goals this year. He's too good. Let's give it to someone who's second best.
Yeah, the Ballon
You're
d'Or. Let's
saying
give it to the other guy
best.
because he wasn't quite as good, but Messi won it last year. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like saying, okay, Liverpool won the league last year so easily, so this year let's take them out of the league and see who
Yeah.
can win it. That's not how it works.
Well, that's what they did That's what they did with that disallowed winner, wasn't it? They said because Liverpool won it so easy last season, we'll just disallow anything we can just to make sure we won't give penalties for them against Pickford or sendings off or.
Crybabies.
Yeah, yeah.
Bunch of
Okay.
crybabies.
Little freaking crybaby. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Anyway,
let's
yeah, but
just
I was going to
finish the
say.
transfers and then we'll talk about it.
Well, I was going to say, what about now? I was going to say about Semedo. Anyway, what did you think of him? I think he's a very good right wing back because he can't defend, but good going forward. But it does mean that they can no longer use their main tactic, which is balls out from the back, long passes to the air in the air to Doherty, because Semedo's awful in the air.
And Doherty was quite a goal threat as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
Forget
what I
that.
mean is the main way they launched the play was a long ball from the right wing, from the centre backs out to Doherty.
Yeah, and he's
Hang on
he's
a sec,
not
I'm just going to change my
much
battery. You
similar.
two carry on between yourselves because I've got to change the battery in my headphones.
Okay.
Sure, man.
Semedo isn't similar to Doherty. And on top of that, he came in quite expensive as well. I think
Yeah.
they paid twice the amount of money they got for Doherty. And he's It is
Sorry
26,
about
and
that.
he's coming off from a very poor showing against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, so his confidence must be quite low.
Who's that? Sorry, what was that?
Semedo.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by him at all. As in, like, he's not a bad right wing back because he gets forward well, but he's defensively he's hopeless. He's not good in the air, bit weak. Every time I've watched him, he's also been out injured, so I'd have worries about his injury history. I don't know whether he is because I don't watch a lot of Barcelona, but he did seem to be injured a lot, so maybe he might be a bit prone to injury. I don't know. But then they've
And
got
he
Hoover
was,
to back him up anyway,
yeah, okay, maybe.
so maybe
But
that's
I
not
like
such a
the,
problem.
yeah, I like the left back they signed though, on loan.
On loan.
Yeah, Ryan Aitnouri or
Oh
something.
yes, I forgot about him. I thought you meant I thought you were talking about Marcel.
No, Marshall, no, he was signed permanently.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was. That's why I said. Oh, I was confused. Like, yeah, no, you mean now the Moroccan, isn't he? Is he Moroccan? No, Algerian.
Half
Sorry.
French, half Morocco, half Algerian.
Yeah, from Alger.
Algerian.
Yeah, I've not really seen a lot of him, but he's highly rated, and they
Yeah,
don't tend to buy badly,
he's
do
said to
they?
be
So
one. Yeah,
they.
he's said to be one of the better left backs available for France, and
And
France have decent players coming up.
they needed a left back because Johnny was bought to be a right back. I know he's been
And
playing at
he's out
left back,
injured.
but
He's out injured for the season, I think, right?
yeah, he's at well for a long term anyway.
Yeah.
Should be back. I think they're hoping to get him back for the second half of the season. Like, but Jesus,
But
I can't
even
believe
then,
Leeds
he won't
3-0
be
up.
fit.
Villa. I think you could
Bad for
definitely
3-0 up.
celebrate this then, Billy.
Yeah. Uh, we'll be all right. We'll still be top next week as well.
I
I
think
think
you're
so.
all right, mate. I think you, like I said, you're only a few players short of on a normal season challenging. This season, you could anyone could bloom and win it. So,
To see about that. I'm not counting any chickens yet.
at the moment, this is the problem. The moment you're going well, you could end up with a bunch of players testing positive for COVID and slip, and
Yeah, yeah.
hit real problems. So, yeah, you can't really be confident, can you, this season?
No, you can't. No, it's a lottery at
But
the
even
moment.
then, Everton are missing one or two players at the back with injury.
Oh
So
my God, how Leeds could
you
have
never know what happens.
Yeah, missing Holgate at the back.
Missing
Yeah.
Holger to missing Brantford as well, and he
Yeah,
was quite
Oh, I
impressive
like him.
Brentwaite's done
back end of
really
the
well
season.
for a
Oh,
young lad. He's got a future in him.
Yeah,
yeah, he's a
I
good
think he
signing
can.
him.
I think he can be one of the better centre backs for England in a few years'
What I
time.
like about him is he reads the game
Yeah,
well,
that's
rather than just chases it up afterwards. He's there
Yeah,
ahead of
yeah.
it.
Listen, I know. I go on about him. I give him a hard time. Unlike Harry Maguire, although he's tall and everything, but he tries to win the ball and defend properly, not try to use his physical attributes to get him out of trouble.
The only thing is with Harry, he lacks taste, doesn't he? And he lacks awareness for me.
He
But
lacks intelligence, mate.
Brains,
Harry lacks intelligence.
everything.
yeah, I think you're right.
Skill. Uh,
His biggest weakness is he thinks he's much better than he is, and he doesn't
yeah.
accept that. Except when he is wrong.
To be
Everybody
fair,
makes
that
mistakes,
foul.
but
I mean, he did think it was. He didn't know it was police. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. Then getting mixed up. Then wasn't I?
he doesn't. I don't think he knows he's playing for Manchester United because he's cost us goal by tackling our own players. Come
He
on,
gets
man.
confused easy, doesn't he? Like, he probably
Against
thinks
against
that he probably didn't.
Southampton,
He
one
probably
this
thinks they were Greek police. So give him a kick
and
just
we
in
weren't even
case.
playing in algebra kit.
And why is he captain? This is the thing. I keep hearing people saying he's shown, he's shown captain ability, the ability
No,
of a
no, no,
captain.
no.
But I've never seen any sign of him being a leader at all, even before he joined Man United.
Who
I
do,
wish someone could explain to me exactly what leadership qualities he exudes, because I've seen none whatsoever. Can you tell?
I
Because I can't.
no, no. I can't say much positive things about Harry Maguire, so I just try to not even comment on posts about him and everything because you can't beat a dead horse too much.
uh,
But but our just slightly off topic. Our team lacks leaders.
exactly,
That's
and
the
Harry
biggest issue
Maguire
for
was
us.
the precise problem.
Who would you have as as our captain then? Just
Rashford.
Rashford. Oh yeah,
I
but
think
I
I think
think
it's the perfect moment to make him captain. He's
yeah, it
shown
would
off
be
the pitch that
great
he's a
for the
leader
club
by
as well.
example.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
can the supporters. He can bring good PR for the club, for the
Well,
owners,
it's
for
not
the
just
board,
that. He's
everyone.
leading by example right now. He's doing things that, like, a captain should be doing. He's being seen to make a difference.
The
He's
only other
properly
guy,
leading.
the only other guy in our squad is Bruno, and he just arrived not even a
Yeah,
year
Bruno
ago.
on the pitch,
It's
I'd
too
say
soon.
would be a good choice as well. He'd be the other one. But for me, it has to be
He seems to
Rashford.
be someone who cares whether his team is losing or winning.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I really
Bruno.
rate Bruno, but I'd just go. The reason I'd go Rashford over him is because age, the fact that he's local, which is always a plus when you're
Profile.
recruiting.
Yeah, he understands the club.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Billy said, profile everything. But maybe someone might say he's a year or two young for being captain of United, which is a
no,
very
no,
big
never
ask.
too young, mate. Never too young. That's the thing. That's
No, no,
you. That's
like
the best
we
time.
all of us are agreeing, but
Yeah.
maybe someone else thinks he's a bit too young. He already has a lot on his plate. Maybe captaincy is a
But
bit
he's come up
too.
through the ranks, hasn't he, Deep? And he's come. That's a great format for a captain, isn't it? Come right through the ranks, made his name, and has become a fantastic individual and a high profile, a celebrity at the moment. But I
Yeah,
think he's a perfect choice for captain.
I
yeah.
can't see
There's
anybody
only
having.
one issue with him.
What's
There's
that?
only one issue with Rashford. He's younger than me.
Yeah, but that's. I don't think that's an issue. Well, when he's.
You know.
I think you
No,
could
for
settle
me
in and
that's
have a
the only
long-term
issue. Come on,
captain. And
he gives me inferiority complex.
it's not just that. It's not just what he does now. It's the example he'd inspire and the kids coming through by making
Yeah,
him
Yeah,
that would
captain.
be great. Like today there were some reports suggesting dodgy attitude or whatever with Greenwood.
Yeah,
You
you need
just need
someone
to
like
look at
Rashford to
Rashford.
inspire them, to show them the way.
I think making Rashford a captain would be great for the club and the academy as well. For maybe 10 years, in 10 years time, we will see kids who opted to join Manchester United instead of City or Liverpool because they saw a young lad setting an example on and off
Yeah,
the field.
yeah, very much so, Deep. Yeah,
yeah.
That is
yeah,
all.
I mean, I can imagine there's a lot of people now, a lot of kids growing up that are, we've read that. Who was it on the Everton site? Say, I can't remember who it was saying about they were working on a house in on the Wirral, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah. You
Rashford
shared the post.
yeah, and things like that. That inspires kids to want
he
to
gave the
be like
200
him.
quid for his birthday, didn't he? Give him 200 quid for his birthday
Yeah,
because the mum had no money. That's a fantastic human being. And Dad raised the profile of the Premier League, football in general, but mainly Manchester United, because they're not everyone's cup of tea, United. But it really helped, that people respect the club because of him. And I think that helped United amazingly.
I fully
Yeah,
agree
back
with
to
you, mate.
Wolves.
So
Sorry.
Let's
you
get
actually
back to
agreeing with
Wolves.
something I said then, Bill? This is a first, isn't it?
I know, yeah, we don't agree much, Chris, no.
Oh. No, and you wouldn't expect us to, being as out weird, like obviously polar opposite with the teams we support. So we're bound to disagree. It's quite a momentous event. This we should probably note this down for history. Oh, just shown his third goal again. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm not. Ken's never gonna let me live it fucking down. Say he's banned from the podcast. Deep, you're stepping in to take over from Ken for permanent basis now.
I'm the face of Manchester United now.
Yeah,
Only because we can't see you. If we could see you, no, you wouldn't be, would you? Let's be honest. That's the difference. You see, if it was me, the prettiness and all that, it would be no problem. But so what? So
Oh, come on.
so is that it finished
Okay.
with the?
Yeah.
West
I think
Ham.
we're finished, aren't we? Now with the.
West Ham.
We going to talk about the games, or are we going to wrap up?
West Ham.
West Ham.
Oh shoot! Yeah, have I missed one?
We can't forget about Mosiah.
Did I miss one? They didn't.
West
Yeah,
Ham.
West Ham.
Oh God, I must have missed them because they'd have been before Wolves.
Yeah.
That's what I've
Yeah,
done.
I was
I've
wondering what
scrolled
happened.
past them by mistake. Cool.
Yeah. That's
Sorry
because of
about
my.
that, Hammers fans. Not that any of them would probably listen to this anyway, I don't think. But yeah, just in case any of them do, because done well with that. I like that Soufal looks good, and obviously bringing in Souček on a permanent basis was a brilliant signing. Fantastic him, isn't he?
Yeah. Good player.
But I'm not convinced by Ben Rama, I've got to say, or Craig Dawson.
I don't know about
Dawson
Ben.
will be a backup, won't he?
Who?
Dawson's a backup.
Yeah, Dawson's just a backup on
Meant to
loan.
be a backup. So
But they needed the first, they needed a bit. I don't see the point in bringing in a backup centre back. I don't see that it was something they really.
They were really after Tarkovsky, weren't they, of Burnley? They were after him for a long while.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced by him.
I'm not a fan of him at all. I think he's a bit Harry Maguire-ish. Fine for Burnley because he's got nowhere he can go running off to. If you see what I mean. So his lack of positional discipline's not his mask.
Well.
Sorry.
He has a really good partner as well in Ben Mee.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows what he's doing?
And he covers him a lot, which he did with Michael Keane as well. I think it's similar to that.
He looks quite decent now. He looks quite good.
Yeah, but again, it's the systems play into it. It's been set up to not. Before, they were set up where Everton were very open, and so he was being exposed, and he was having to be a great defender, and he's not a great defender. Now they're playing a more compact system and keeping a good, solid shape, so he's not being exposed, and he can just be. He doesn't need to be a great defender. He's not being left one-on-one often. So
and he can score against Liverpool.
He's not a bad player, but he's just not a great player, is he? Well, we had this discussion before we started, didn't we, Bill? We did. Yeah. He's not the long-term answer, but he's not a bad cover player to come in.
I think he's better than Harry Maguire, that's it.
Yeah, but that's not really saying much.
But it is for us, because he would be club trained.
You've gone all quiet again, mate, Deep. You need to speak up.
But he would have been club trained for us.
Yeah, it'd be a better choice. Especially as he was returning home to the team he started with. He might have played a bit harder for you.
Maybe.
But anyway, we were talking about West Ham. And we've gone back to Everton and Man United. So what do you think of this Ben Rama? Because I'm not absolutely 100% convinced. I know he's got fabulous skill, and I love his gesture to the staff when he left. Did you hear about that? Where he gave them... He was due a bonus. Sorry, I was just going to tell a story just in case anybody listening hasn't heard it. He thought he was due a bonus when he left. Turned out he wasn't, and they were arguing about it because he was sure there was one in his contract, and they turned out it wasn't. And rather than carrying on, the agent was trying to argue, and he said, "No, hang on. What we'll do is, can you give the bonus I thought I was due instead of arguing about because we're going to argue, it's never going to, the deal's not going to happen and all that. Just give the bonus to the staff at the club. So there's over 100 people getting a huge pay." Bonus in their pay, like low-paid workers at Brentford. which is nice. Like,
That's great, that, isn't it? That's great, yeah. That's
because he
great.
could have bickered and argued over it because he was convinced it was in his contract, and Brentford was saying no, there's definitely nothing in there. But most times players like that, they end up getting something, don't they, to go.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Players.
I like him, to be honest with you. I think he's a decent player.
I think he's an excellent player, but I don't think he works hard enough. I think he just floats a bit much.
I think Moyes will be good for him. I'm not a big fan of David Moyes, but I think he gets players to work hard, and and he might do well under Moyes. I think he'll do okay.
Yeah, I take your point there. That is a very good point. I can't argue with that, actually.
But I think quite the opposite. I think because he's not renowned for his hard work and everything, maybe Moyes won't fancy him enough.
Oh, I think he wanted him. I think he really wanted him, and I think he thinks he can do stuff with him. And I think he'll be a decent buy for them.
Oh, he desperately wanted him. Moyes wanted him. That was a Moyes buy for. That's why they went to all the trouble and kept forcing it.
Do good.
Okay,
then I think that's it.
So
I think that's it then now.
Yeah, that's the final one. Now my mistake's been rectified. So yeah, so are we moving on to talk about the games or what?
Yeah, we'll have a quick run through the games.
We'll have to be quick, yeah, because we've been nearly 2 hours now. So
yeah, let's have a quick run through the games. Starting with the Everton-Liverpool derby, which was a bone of contention.
Oh, it was nothing. There was nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I can't think of anything happened in that game. What are you talking about, Bill? Just bit of a non-entity of a derby, that one, wasn't it? I mean, what was there to talk about? I've not seen anything in the media
not really
talk about it.
Nobody got hurt. Nobody got sent off.
Yeah,
nobody was ruled offside. Nothing happened. It was
really disappointing. Yeah, no VAR errors, nothing. Do you know? Did you see? I think I mentioned it to you earlier, Bill. I don't know if I did to Deep. The before the Ajax game, the questions from the media were still about the Van Dijk injury to Klopp, and he was telling them, please stop asking me about it. I'm here to talk about the Ajax game. We're trying to move on. Can you stop asking me questions? But I'll bet you because he said, right, but as you've asked, he answered the question, and then said, can we please move on for it? But I bet you all the coverage in the media was about him again whining about the Van Dijk injury when he actually didn't. He was trying to talk about something else.
I know, yeah. I've banned it from the Liverpool and Everton site. Talking about it, it's just going on and on. Just get on with it and let's move on.
I mean, it happens, just get on with it. Pickford's an imbecile. He's done it before, he'll do it again. But, that's it. Just move on.
Yeah, it's got to move on now, yeah.
I do think... Just to make a point. One thing, though, I think I've said this to you before, Billy. I am in favour of retrospective action. But not because of this particular one, but I mean in general, because I think Robertson should also be getting, much as I hate to admit it, because I think Robertson should also get a ban, because it's just it's ridiculous. If you get away with it, if it's not spotted at the time, you're getting away with it. It's like condoning cheating, saying it's okay so long as nobody catches you. It's easy at the time. It's like saying, in crime, you don't have... If a crime's committed and you don't catch them red-handed, you don't just say, oh, well, okay, that we don't care then that you've made it 30 people because we didn't see you doing it at the time, and catch you. You don't do that, do you? You've got to go... You need to take retrospective action to stop it continuing. And how does... Pickford's done this before, injured someone jumping into him like that. But how is he learning to not do it if he's getting away with it every time? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Yeah. You've got to have retrospective action, even though it'd be against my club and as you say, Robertson. But
come on, Billy, it would be against Pickford. You would love it.
That's the shoe, to be
that's
fair.
a point. Yeah, that's a point.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing for Everton, would it? Mind, again, I don't know about that. Olsen's not much better, is he? So maybe it would be.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him, to be honest with you.
He was like 14th choice at Roma, which bodes well.
They bought him to be Alisson's replacement, and they bought, I think, 2 or 3 keepers to replace him.
Yeah, because he was that bad.
Yeah, but going back to the game, besides the 3 incidents, it wasn't a bad game, by the way. Besides
Yeah, it was
the
a
3
good
incidents.
game. That's the That's what really annoyed me is that and I said in the review, you couldn't really talk about the game because it got ruined by VAR.
Yeah, it did, yeah. And it wasn't a bad game. It was a good watch, and 2 teams playing good football, and it was okay.
And Everton showed great desire and fight to come back from twice going behind, and Liverpool showed great drive and desire to keep going after each time they lost out, and especially with the injury and that that's what we should be talking about, the game itself, but instead we're not. And Thiago, what a player, what a performance from Thiago. He was
last season,
for me.
maybe 1-2 years ago, Everton would have just crumbled after going 1-0 down.
Yeah.
After going 2-1 down.
I do wonder though, and this is do you not think that the Van Dijk injury helped them fight back, because they felt like, oh, hang on a sec, we've got because at the time at 1-0 they were under the cosh, we had we had a corner, put them in difficulty, which is why Van Dijk was up there, and we were starting to take control until the injury, and it does feel like Everton kind of got
buoyed by it, yeah.
Yeah,
but come on, Chris, that happens to every team.
Yeah,
even if Liverpool are let's say Liverpool are playing Manchester City, De Bruyne gets injured.
Yeah, but
they will be.
Yeah, but if he got injured in a situation like that, how would you would expect the referee to send off the player who'd injured De Bruyne in that way, because it was a foul, clear foul, and it should have been a red card. Nobody's arguing.
Okay,
so
talking about the
they've benefited from something that it's in a way possibly. I mean, we can't tell, because obviously if they hadn't have, would they have eventually weathered the storm and come back into it? I think they probably would, but not as quickly as they did. Is my point, is that helped them get back into the game, and it feels like they benefited thanks to the officials.
But that happens in football, doesn't it? There's turning points in every game, and that was a turning point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And everyone got back into it, and then the game went on.
But you don't mind when the turning point comes because of that clash happens and it's a turning point. That's fine when the officials actually do their job rather than bottle out of it or whatever. That's what I'm saying. It kind of feels like it's ruined. It takes
but Chris, a bit of the refereeing was bad. It wasn't against Liverpool.
No, I'm not saying it was because they missed the Robertson.
No, not just you. I'm not just talking to you. I'm just talking in general. Everybody is like, Liverpool was hard done by. No, football was hard done by the referee.
Exactly. This is something that needs to be changed, because it's ruining the game. We're not talking about the game. We're talking about incidents from a referee. We're talking about referee, and it's ruining the game.
No, Chris. It's not just even referees.
Incidents. I enjoy talking about football and good football, and there was a lot of good football played in that game. We should be talking about how great Calvert-Lewin's playing at the moment, and what a brilliant aerial threat he is. But we're not. We're talking
also,
about
Chris,
other things.
We're not even talking about referees. We're talking about video assistant referees that are getting decisions completely wrong, even after 100 replays.
But the
like when Van Dijk got injured, there was 3-4 minutes.
Yeah,
the VAR isn't helping the referees. It's more of
even looking at it.
Of a problem.
That's the worry.
Especially when there is a stoppage in the game naturally, then you have to communicate with the referee and tell him, have a look, mate.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
But don't you think that referees are using VAR as a crutch Instead of the referees seeing that incident of the Pickford done, he should have been right over to him and said, "You're off the field with that challenge."
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah, but Billy, that was my concern, Billy.
They're using it as a crutch to say, "I don't have to make them decisions. I'll let someone else
Okay,
Stockley
Billy, that was
Park
my
make that decision." And that's the
Billy, that
problem
was my
with
issue
VAR.
with VAR. That was my issue with VAR because I grew up watching cricket, and with time the umpiring just went downhill because they knew they had the third umpire to fall back to. Same is happening with football, but in football, the VR they're hopeless, mate.
Yeah, they're
They
awful.
are, they really are, yeah.
What I see in live football is most of them they're biased opinion and everything, and even then I see more than the VAR officials after 10, 20, 30 replays. That's the issue.
It's ridiculous. I mean, like I said about that Real Madrid one, he needed 4 or 5 replays to decide that a goal was offside. That I could see on the on the immediate play live from watching on TV that it was clearly offside. The player was clearly 2 inches in front of the keeper, and the only question I had was he might have even deflected it into the goal as well, let alone got in the way of the keeper. That would have been the only thing I'd have needed a replay to see. But they needed 4 replays, and even then you could see him shaking his head, saying as if to say, I don't know about this. Could he be, could he have seen round him? The player was right in front of him, and you're thinking you shouldn't need replays to see that. Your linesman should see it. You should see it.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed on the VAR just isn't there.
Just on that Pickford tackle, I think at least from what I've read, most people are trying to insinuate that Pickford was making bad tackle. It was a violent conduct. I don't think it's violent conduct. It's dangerous play. I think that should be established.
Well,
it's a sister challenge, so
it wasn't. Yeah, it was a sister
It's a
challenge.
dangerous play. Yeah, it's a dangerous play, but it's not violent conduct. I think that should be differentiated.
It wasn't malicious, but it was a terrible tackle.
Stupid is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Pickford all over, isn't it?
I don't think
he's got the brains to preempt it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I don't think he's got the intelligence to be malicious and sly about it. I think he just doesn't think, and that's the problem.
Idiot, I think.
And that's why he's a crap keeper, because he doesn't think. He's not got the intelligence to learn. So he just keeps making the same mistakes over and over. And again, we're not talking about the game. This is the problem with this match.
That is the problem.
Be discussing this, and it's ruining the game for me. And I'm struggling to enjoy football anyway because of the lack of crowds and the fact every game feels like a meaningless friendly.
It does, yeah.
I mean, this is why
we're not even talking
scores
about
rather than football scores, because nobody's, there's this just weird, the atmosphere is wrong and that.
Yes, we're not even talking about the injury. Sorry, the burden caused to the team due to the injury. We're talking about the officiating. That's not something we should be talking about.
We should never have to discuss officiating now they've got VAR, and that was what it was supposed to do, is to make sure that was no longer an issue. But instead, it's made it worse. You're right, Deep. It is making it worse. So, we just may as well move on from that game and talk about the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chelsea Southampton, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Lampard is at it again.
Can't
He
organise
can't
the defence.
And I told you 2 weeks ago, he's hopeless.
But I mean, is it not? Is it just me who thinks that he also seems to struggle with tactical readjustments as well? He's all right in the first half. His team could go out and dominate, but as soon as the other team shuffles it around a bit, he just seems lost.
Yeah, he's more of a spectator watching the game.
Yeah.
When something happens.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a clue.
He's not proactive at all, is he?
I think
reactive though,
he
is he? He doesn't even seem to be able to react as things happen. He just seems to just watch it, and it just goes on.
he's another one who's very one-dimensional. You know, play this lovely attacking, try to play lovely attacking football, and his defense is awful. Three
Yeah.
goals at home again, and he can't seem to get that problem right.
But
And that's why,
they needed a defensive midfielder, someone to hold in midfield and sit in front of the defence. And they know Jorginho doesn't work in that role, yet he continues to persist with him. Why? It makes no sense. I just don't understand the Jorginho thing at all. It's a bit
And
like
it seems
Fred.
not
The first
like
time
Fabio.
it reminds me of Fred. The first time you watch him, you just knew he's not right. He's just not a Premier League player. Just not suited to it. He's too
But at
slow,
least he has
Jorginho.
hunger,
Lacks
mate.
mobility, lacks ability. He's got no he's got no reading of the game. He's positionally inept, and he
his
can't.
second touch in the throw-in, isn't
Yeah,
it?
well, it's not. It's more the passes he does. He doesn't do and he doesn't he doesn't create enough. He doesn't pass with enough incision. People are raving about that ball he did over the top, but that was hardly special, was it? It was just he knew the player would be running, so he played it into an area. That's not a class pass.
Mate.
That's quite clever, but it's not a special pass like they're making out.
That pass could have been made by Danny Drinkwater.
Exactly. Or me. I could play
Yeah.
that pass.
Actually,
just
that
take
is
the
how
talent.
Drinkwater got his move. That is how Drinkwater got his move.
Yeah.
Just long ball into a pacey striker who has the beating of the whole league. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
Exactly. You only have to play it into an area. It was a bit like when people used to rave about gigs in the early days before people realised the tactic, where every ball would just go into the left corner for him to chase, and nobody could live with his pace. That's not a particularly it works, and I'm not disputing it as a tactic. It's a very good tactic. What I'm saying is it's not a great. It doesn't take great skill to do that.
We've gone off track again.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Chelsea.
We're talking about Chelsea. But not enough credit has got to go to Southampton here, because they come back and how hard did they work? Did you see the game? They really worked hard, and they never give up.
But do you think that knowing Chelsea can't defend helped them because they thought we've got a chance here, as against the Chelsea of, say, Jose Mourinho or a past, one of the others, they might have just folded at 3-0 and thought, wow, we're not going to get anything out of this game. They had belief still that they could get something.
Yeah.
3-1, Chris, not 3-0.
Yeah, it was 3-1.
Oh, yeah, but no, sorry. Yeah. But I mean, when you're behind against Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Chelsea suffered from the goal they conceded because they conceded near the halftime when they were losing the game at 2-0.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like when you're battering someone, you've got to see it out, haven't you? And they just haven't got the capability of doing that.
If Southampton had gone, like you said, if Southampton had gone in at halftime 2-0 down, maybe they would have said, maybe Chelsea.
I don't know, because I still think they'd have looked at it and said, well, we know Chelsea struggle to defend.
Yeah, Chelsea struggled to defend and Southampton have a goal scorer.
On here. Quick, block him before he comes in to tell me how great Bamford is.
What, Ken?
He's not signed in on this voice channel, but he's on he's online, so I'm worried. I'm sure he's signed in just to tell us how great Bamford is.
Oh, probably. Yeah. Most likely.
Should we move on to City Arsenal quick? Let's get this finished before he does.
Borefest.
What's it? Arsenal. I just don't see the Arteta loving. I just don't see it. He's just another Emery. Exactly the same.
Can you explain to me the theory in playing a striker at left wing and a right winger at striker/false nine?
There is no theory behind it. It's just the same as Pep. He's overthinking. He's doing that.
Yeah, and Pep was playing a right back at number 10. What was the game?
He's trying to be too clever. Instead of just playing players in position and trying to get a result, he's trying to show he's better than everyone else, and he's not. I just don't see how he's any different from Emery. Most of his results come about. You watch them and they're lucky. They're not better than the team they're playing. They're getting, they're not outplaying teams or anything. They're getting lucky results, and
they are getting results though. And it's a results business,
yeah,
and that's why people are learning.
But they're getting results because, like we talked with Chelsea, they have a fast striker who can run onto balls over the top. That is how most of the goals are coming, and that's not a sustainable tactic.
It's so.
And Aubameyang is bound to lose some of his qualities with age. He's over 30. Pace is something that suffers with age more than other attributes.
Yeah, I agree with that. But but it's not just that. It's also Arteta's trying to be too clever a lot, and it's going to come back and bite him on the arse like it is with Pep now.
They were quite workmanlike. So City went. They do quite workmanlike. I thought they deserved to win, and they got a good goal, and I thought he played okay. Not great, but I thought he played okay, and he was strong in defence, which was a bit of a.
They did play two holding midfielders, which is an odd one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pep is worried about his defense now. Pep is worried about his defense. Finally, he's acknowledging that there is a problem.
But
before he wasn't.
What's he going to do next week? Because Fernandinho's out injured.
Yeah,
but Laporte is back, right? Next week, Laporte will be back.
I don't know. Is he back this weekend or is he back next week?
Supposedly this weekend, but I don't know.
You don't know with him because he gets injured again and again.
Yeah, it's a shame because he's a fantastic defender.
Yeah, good player. Very good player.
Well,
let's get on to Man United. Man United, yeah.
Newcastle are just, like I was saying earlier, they've just fallen apart. They had a good start. They just look like a Steve Bruce side now.
No, but they went 1-up, and then United equalised, and then they had a great chance to make it 2-1 with about 10 minutes to go, and hit it right at the keeper. Actually, I don't know who it was. And then United broke from that and scored and then finished them off.
But that was the only chance, wasn't it, that Newcastle had other than their goal?
Yeah. But come on, Billy, we could have scored a penalty as well. Billy, we could have scored with the penalty as well. Newcastle, like Chris is saying, Manchester United wasn't great. We weren't 4-1 great. But Newcastle was 4-1 bad.
No, they shouldn't have. Newcastle were lucky to get one. They didn't deserve it. They were awful.
No,
absolutely rank. They just didn't even look like they were trying to score either at times. You just watch them thinking, why aren't they attacking at all? They looked like they were settling for 1-1.
Chris, I think they have a defeatist mentality already.
Yeah, they look like a team that's going to struggle against relegation. The worrying thing for me is, if I was a Man United fan, would be that Man United didn't look much better than them. I know they won 4-1, and that might sound stupid, but
always 10 minutes to go. You wouldn't know who was the Man United and who was the Newcastle United because they were both playing a similar style. And but good enough, like United come good in the end and ended up winning 4-1. But at the time it was close.
Flattered them, didn't it? 4-1.
It flattered them absolutely, Chris. It did. It flattered them. But things like that happen in football, don't you?
You can. Get results. You get results, and you're happy with it. But you do have to look at the overall play and think, where can we improve? And they've got a lot they could improve.
But we don't need to look at the Newcastle game to see where we need to improve, mate.
True.
No, you don't.
But
I don't think there is many things that we as a club cannot improve in.
I genuinely think Marcus Rashford I'd say in that position, you're all right. Up front and in his attitude.
Goalkeeper. Okay, we have.
You've got 3 good goalkeepers. Excellent backup and 2 good first choices, which is. Though you can't pick Romero, can you? Because he's not in the squad.
No.
Which is an odd one.
I don't even want to talk about him because I've said it again and again. We should
He
have
should have went to Everton.
we should have just sold some
He should have gone to Everton. You're right, Bill.
youthfulness, some class.
He wanted to.
But there were also other clubs after him as well. But we just didn't push the move through. Even
Stupid.
teams outside of the league.
And he's on a big wage. Like, it's not like he's on £20 a week and you're gonna vote.
I think he's on 80 or 90K. I think something like that.
At least.
And I've seen people saying, "Oh, come on, he's on that much money. He should just shut up." But come on, it's his career as well.
Yeah, he wants to play football. He's sat on the sidelines for long enough. It's one thing to be a backup to one keeper and hope that, when you're hoping that he might pick up an injury so you can get a run of games. But two, you've got no chance. And he's not even making, and they're not even putting him in the squad.
Finally now, his position in the national team is also under threat. So he needs to play more often. He wants to play more often. We should have just facilitated the move.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think Everton would have been perfect
we lacked class. I think it would have been perfect for Everton because he's not too old, but he's old enough so that people.
But it's just a step forward, and they couldn't find a step for. They were struggling to find another keeper, which is why they ended up taking Olsen. Was just a when we find.
That was a panic buy, yeah.
So.
Right, let's move on to the three.
Sunday.
Maybe MLS for him.
Yeah, it's a shame though. It's too good for there. Sheffield United, Fulham then.
Poor game, wasn't it?
Yeah, Fulham are abysmal, and Sheffield United just aren't, just struggling to keep the team on the pitch at the moment.
They look like two poor sides to me. Nothing much coming out of them. That you'd say.
Fulham could have won the game if Mitrovic had his shooting boots on. He missed a penalty. He missed a golden opportunity.
He was awful, weren't he?
Yeah,
but they wouldn't have deserved to win. This is the thing. They had opportunities, but they weren't playing well. They weren't. Fulham just annoy me because they could attack and they could do damage to teams. They've got plenty of attacking threat, but would rather pass it around the back and in the midfield.
They do overplay.
I understand with Palace why they don't attack because they haven't got anything. You know what I mean? And it's the way Roy Hodgson plays. When someone like Fulham, they're meant to play good football. That's what they were always renowned for, entertaining good football. But Parker just plays boring stuff. I can't understand how he's still got a job.
Also with Palace, at least they have a good defense to defend.
Yeah, solid defense. Yeah, you're right.
Fulham don't have a defense. Palace can stay up just because of the defensive structure.
Should we move on to Palace now, by the way? So we may as well. Palace Brighton, the derby, the M25?
M16?
Forget what the derby. Anyway, it's a derby. Anyway, I know people argue about it, but there's a difference between a local derby and a derby. A derby's just a clash of rivals, and that's a derby.
Right.
A local derby is obviously if they're near each other, but nobody argues that it's a derby between Real Madrid and Barcelona, even though they're hundreds of miles apart. So I don't know why people argue about whether that's a derby or not. Palace and Brighton, it is a derby. They hate each other. Wasn't. Oh God, you've gone again, haven't you? It's the connection's dropped on the server. Brighton play good football. They're nice to watch, pretty on the eye, but they don't really have any goal threat. They lack a
really good.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, the thing went off again, so I had to fill in. So you go on. Oh God, no! Now my internet.
Yeah. We're talking about Brighton, how well they've done, and how entertaining they are and playing good stuff.
They're pretty, but they lack a cutting edge for me. That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, they might lack a bit of an edge, but for what they come from, and evolved as a club under Potter, I think he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, they just need what I mean is they need a striker. That's what I was trying to say by cutting edge. They just need someone who.
They need a striker who can stand on his 2 feet, not even score goals, just who can stand. That Aaron Connolly, he's just diving everywhere. I don't think even Olympic divers dive as much.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by that Mope at all. Are you? Does anybody
Oh,
else rate him? I
At
don't
least,
think
at
he
least,
works hard, but he
at
just
least he
can't
presses.
score.
He works hard. At least he stays on his feet.
yeah, he's not the greatest,
I
but
think
he's
they
not
would
the
have done good.
worst.
I think they would have done good with Ryan Brewster.
I think they need more power. I think Maupay is nice and tidy, but I don't think he's got the power for a centre forward.
I
For
just
it.
He's
don't
not
think
a
he's a
goal
very good
scorer.
player.
He's
He
just a
works hard,
nuisance.
but I just don't think he's a very good player.
He's just a
Not at the
nuisance,
Premier
and
League
he's a bit
level
of
I'm
a
talking
dick.
about. He can't score goals.
I don't think he's done that bad. To be fair to him, Chris.
He just works, but I just think he's one of you could put anybody in who works hard and they do as well as him. He's not done anything special. He's not done anything of a.
He's he's got a few goals, hasn't he? He's
I'm just not a fan.
better than a lot of centre forwards, to be honest with you. His record
I
this
just
season.
think he's a championship level striker, and that's where he should be.
Have they got money to spend, Tris, that you could have got a strike?
Yeah, they've got a lot of money to spend. They're backed by a billionaire of their own. That's how come that's why they got up into the Premier League in the first place. Got a lot of they've spent heavily to get up there. So yeah, they'll be all right. They'll buy. Yeah, I just think with Potter, he's good enough to manage anyway. Keep him in the division at the very least.
Yeah, it's quite a bad predicament that Chelsea, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United have worse manager than Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't.
Are we moving on to West Ham, which was a great game, by the way,
Oh,
against Tottenham. And Tottenham 3-0
Hosea back at the helm.
and then they bring Bale on. And they draw 3-0. Nothing to do with Bale, by the way. Well, he did miss a good chance.
Whoa! If Bale scored with that chance, it was over. The game would be over.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
But what a goal! But what a goal from Lanzini right at the death.
What a strike that was.
They did well to come back. It's got to be said.
Yeah.
I thought all hope was lost when they went 3-0 down and Moyes was at the
When it's a Jose
sidelines.
team, you
When
don't
he came
expect
back,
them to. You don't expect them to lose 3 goals, do you?
Not a Mourinho side, no.
yeah, but even Mourinho didn't seem to be angry about it.
And that was the catalyst. Took Dombele off and he fell to pieces.
No, took Son off. They shouldn't have taken Son off. I think he took Son off.
He took Dombele off there and Dombele, didn't he? Didn't he take him off?
Dombele, yeah.
I think he took off Ndombele, Son, and whoever was on the right side. Bergwijn?
But I must say, I was impressed by Harry Kane there as well. Played some great stuff, Harry Kane there. And we scored to make the other goal for Son. And we were talking before that what a quality player he is. And Tottenham looked really good at 3-0. And then it all just went wrong, didn't it?
I just don't think he's at his best, Jose, at the moment. He just still looks. I don't know. He's missing something, isn't he? He's not. He's not
still
been the
looks
same
grumpy.
since he
Not as grumpy as he was at Manchester United, but still not fully happy. He's not. He doesn't look 100% committed yet.
No, but
yeah.
But also with Spurs, they've had. I don't think they've had more than 3-4 days off between games right from the beginning.
yeah, it's been in the boat. It's just the way it is, isn't it?
But for them, because of the Europa League qualifiers, they had to play like 4 games.
But that should be an advantage because nobody had a pre-season, so they've actually in essence had an advantage of having a pre-season in the Europa League qualifiers. To build
but I think that is why he is having to take off his better performers so that he can play them in next game as well.
Yeah, but everybody's got to say Liverpool had to take off all three of the front three against Ajax after 60 minutes because they were knackered.
Yeah,
And they
but
needed them
you
for the
had
next
3 days.
game. So
But you
every
had
team's...
3 days.
Hmm?
Tottenham, no. But Tottenham had more games because of the Europa League
Yeah, but
qualifiers.
Yeah, but at this point in the season, that's no excuse. If anything, it's just an advantage. Like I was saying, the Europa League qualifiers are in essence just an advantage because they've had a pre-season out of them.
This season, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with
because
that,
nobody's
yeah.
had a pre-season, so what they've had is an advantage because they're actually got up to speed quicker. Should be. So I can't have that. That's no excuse for not playing well. That's not why they. It's
Yeah,
just
but they
Jose's
did play well.
struggling.
They did play well. They just didn't play that good in the second half. They were
Yeah,
quite
they sat on their laurels.
breathtaking for the first time.
Yeah, they did. They
I
rested
think
on the wall.
they just got overconfident.
Hmm.
They just got too
Wow.
relaxed, and then that is what happens.
Yeah, which is not a Jose thing. It's not normal for him, which is why it's a worrying thing to see. If you're a Spurs fan, obviously it's not for me because I'm not a Spurs fan.
Or
But
me.
if you're a Spurs fan, you'd be worried by that.
Yeah. I think they've got a couple of average players as well in the mid that they're playing. The likes of Winks and
Oh,
Dyer.
it's awful.
I don't think they're
Aurier.
giving any.
Sanchez.
Yeah,
Oh,
Davison Sanchez.
he's
What a bad player he is.
oh, he's awful. And I said that before they signed him. People were
He's a
raving about
speed
him. He's
merchant.
awful. See, I just don't understand why people sign players like him. Just because he's quick and strong and and can pass the ball. Yeah, but he can't defend, and he loses the plot
Yeah.
when he's put under pressure. It's the worst kind of player.
Even when, yeah, Chris, even passing, his passing isn't that great because when we played them in the Europa League final under Mourinho, one of our main tactics was try to pressure him when he's on the ball.
No, that's because you put him under pressure. Like I was saying, he falls apart. It's not because he's a bad passer of the ball. He's got good technique and all that. But as soon as he's under pressure, it all goes to pot. And he just forgets it and he loses his head. That's what I'm saying. He's a good passer of the ball when he's given time and space. But you don't get that in the Premier League. So why would you sign him for a Premier League team?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. You put him in a team like Barcelona when they were at their pomp, and he'd be brilliant because nobody would pressure him at all, and he'd be able to take his time and pick a pass. Fine, be brilliant for them. But for Barcelona and now, he'd have the same problem where he'd be under pressure because they're crap. So he'd be useless.
But that's what Pochettino did. He signed a lot of quick players who can run, who are athletic,
players. That's all he was
but
after.
who just weren't as intelligent.
Right, what's the next game, Trish?
Yeah, I was just thinking. Yeah, there's
Leicester.
Leicester Villa.
Yeah, well, that was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? Well, it was for me. I thought I'd put the Leicester down to win. But, yeah, a bit strange.
Villa have been playing really well. I know they got battered tonight, but they'd been playing really well. They were on a great run of form, really high on confidence after smashing Liverpool. Yeah.
And Leicester were missing first-team players.
Yeah, Leicester, they just don't look... and tactically, Rodgers hasn't got a clue how to respond to things. And, when there's a problem and injuries out, this team's always fail to get results. So
they missed Vardy big time, didn't they? They missed Vardy big time.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they bet games based on. Over the top, the ball over the top, him running on. That's how they create all their chances.
Yeah, because even when teams don't respond, drop off to respond to that, it then allows them to push on to them to attack. So it's without that actual outlet, they've got nothing. I agree with you.
No, not much, no.
They're a very poor side without him.
Yeah, he's.
They're going to struggle when he retires.
Yeah, they will, yeah. Or they'll have to get someone else who's going to take his place.
I just don't see anyone around that can do the job other than Aubameyang, who's also getting on. And they're not going to afford him.
Timo Werner.
Yeah, well, they're not going to get him from Chelsea, are they?
No, but he just said nobody's around. He's quite fast. And
yeah,
he's a lot like Vardy, actually.
Yeah, very similar, actually, yeah.
His strengths and weaknesses are very similar.
You got to wonder how he'll cope when the fans come back, though, because of his hearing problem. You know, the vertigo issue.
Yeah,
we bring it up every time,
I
mate.
know, but I'm
Let
just
it go.
saying, he's got to establish himself now before it happens, so he can get. Because otherwise, that could change matters.
But he's been played more off the left, and I don't think that's
But he played him
the
up
best
front the
use for him.
last game, and he played brilliantly, didn't he? So
But
hopefully
he doesn't
that's.
play for Leicester or Villa.
No, I'm saying.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just saying
no,
Leicester
you're
haven't
right,
got
Pete.
anybody else to replace Vardy. That show's crap.
yeah, he's a bad
He's
player.
hopeless. I just don't see anything in him at all. Hey, he's got
And
skill,
to
but he's
think,
just got no brains.
yeah, and to think when both of them were coming up in the game, everybody was saying Iheanacho is better than Rashford.
Yeah, but you're not talking about when Rashford was playing on the wing as an out-and-out right winger when he was a kid. You're talking about that sort of period because Iheanacho was playing as a striker, Rashford was playing on the right wing. They've never really been up against each other. Iheanacho is a few years older as well.
And also Iheanacho was coming on as a substitute for Manchester City.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was coming on
Because
as a
he was
substitute.
coming on when his team was winning two,
exactly.
3, 4 goals.
When it's easier. That's why I don't like this
Yeah.
where people say the time to bring on the youngsters, blood them, is when you're 2-0 up and that. I think that's the worst time possible to bring them on. They're not learning a bloody thing then. Absolutely nothing. It's pointless. You may as well just
Yeah,
not bother.
I think youth players should be brought on when things aren't going their way, because a bad performance can help them 10 times more than 10 good performances.
Yeah, if they have a shocker, they learn from it, and if they come on and change the game, then you've got yourself like Rashford. Basically, they burst onto the scene when things are bad. That's when they establish themselves quickly.
Yeah, we were losing in the Europa League tie when he was brought in last minute because of injuries. And we were doing quite bad in the league when he made his debut against Arsenal in the subsequent game.
Yeah,
that is
when
how
you
it
need a youth team
that is
player.
my biggest worry with Greenwood. He doesn't seem to have bad games, so maybe maybe one day his head will just become too big for his soldiers to handle.
That's why you need players around him, captains around him to guide him. Experienced players with a bit of sense. And instead you've got Harry Maguire. Let's hope he learns from Rashford rather than Maguire. Because Rashford's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Or Bruno.
Yeah, or Bruno.
There are two guys.
Apart from the fact you wouldn't want him learning how to fall over his own feet like Bruno, or to foul someone and then claim he was fouled and win a penalty for doing so.
Oh, mate, he only did it once. Come on, you guys are on about it.
He had one chance to do it. That's why. I'm sure he'll do it again and again.
No, I'm not having it when you guys are labeling him as a cheat.
No, he's not a cheat.
He's just crybabies. Liverpool supporters are crybabies.
Every time he gets in the box, he falls over. Can't argue it. It's true. You know it's right. That's why you're getting so upset.
But mate, no. On topic of falling over, I think you made this point in your review as well about Sadio Mane. Players who don't fall over don't get the decisions in their favor.
Yeah, he gets kicked around and he stays on his feet and he loses the ball and he throws himself to the ground and he doesn't get a decision when he stays on his feet and he throws himself to the ground under no challenge because he's lost the ball and he gets a free kick and you're thinking what kind of lessons that's sending out to young footballers watching the game. That their lesson is don't bother staying on your feet, just go to ground because you're going to get a free kick there.
Yeah.
Even if you've
the lesson is if you dive it's a foul, but if you stay on your feet, it doesn't matter how strong the tackle was.
Yeah, because he does get
That's
some
the wrong
horrible
example.
kit.
Because I remember once when Mane was clearly fouled in the penalty area. He tried to stay on his feet. He didn't get the penalty. And that is when he started diving
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
looking for
exactly. It's
fouls.
a bad lesson they're teaching them, and it's the referees at fault for that. Again, we're going back to referees.
Again.
Let's forget it.
Again, the
Let's move on
referees,
to
yeah.
the next game. Right, Monday night's game. West Brom versus Burnley. Not a lot to say about that, really, is it?
Relegation candidates, both of them are
Yeah,
going to
that was
struggle
an
all
awful
year
game.
out.
Awful game as well. I fell asleep, to be
I,
honest,
I
partway
said it
through it.
last time. I said it last time as well. Saunders should just resign because he's there in a lost cause.
Yeah, I mean, if England, if England come in for him, would he be? That might be the only route he's got to get out of Burnley, to be honest, where he can actually go and have a chance to show he can play proper football. Not that England are any good, but they've got players to play proper football, so he's got no excuse there. So that's where I think he should go. I
But
would be
but
interested to see what
everybody
he could
loves
do there.
Gareth Southgate. I think we are the only people who think
No, I
he's
know there's a lot of people turning on Southgate because there's been speculation about Dyche as the next England manager.
Let's hope so, because Southgate's awful.
Yeah, anyone's got to be better than Southgate. He's just a yes
I
man.
think so, yeah. He's so negative.
Oh,
So
awful.
negative.
But anyway, yeah, well, West Brom, Burnley, yeah, nothing to say, is there really? So
it
Leeds,
was
Wolves.
0-0, nothing much to talk about.
Two bad teams. They are two bad teams.
Yeah, I mean Burnley, you can't. They've been ruined by their chairman messing about. He's
That's why I feel sorry for Dyche. You know,
Yeah.
I think he's a good man, and if you get messed about, it's you can't blame him, can you?
No, I think he needs to leave there. I think he's taken them as far as he can, and now it's the point where they're only going to go backwards, and there's no way he can help it.
I'd fear for them though if they lost Dyche. I'd really fear for them to go
definitely. The chairman should be doing everything he can to keep hold of Dyche and make him happy and give him whatever he wants to stay in charge. The players he asks for, you know what I mean? You just do because they're not good enough to stay up without him.
No, they're not. No, very average players.
So yeah. Anyway, Leeds Wolves we'll move on to. It's a bit of a. I don't know. What was it? Leeds lost to Wolves at home. I mean, is that a surprise? I don't know. Wolves are
I thought it was a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. And if you see the first half, Leeds were far better in the first half.
Battered them in the first half, but Wolves always seem to do this. They seem to just.
They are a second half team, yeah.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. I mean, I don't know if it's a deliberate plan by Nuno, but he seems very negative. You know, he seems to set out to keep things tight for the first half. He seems very negative, and then in the second half, gradually as things go on, if they're not ahead, he starts opening the team up and going at them. Well, I find that a bit. I think
I thought Leeds panicked a bit though, Chris. When they played. And I thought they panicked a bit when they never got a breakthrough in the first half. They were on top. They never got the breakthrough. And then that's when, in the second half, Wolves started to come into it. They just seemed to panic a bit for me. And I think they were a bit naive as well.
Yeah, but I can't see Leeds going down, even before tonight's win over. I think they're a very good side, and they'll be right up there at the end. You know, they're gonna a bit like Sheffield United last season. They'll be right in the top half of the table, I think.
Yeah, I think they'll finish top half. Yeah, they deserve to. They play lovely football.
Really good watch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They battered Villa tonight. I know you two didn't see it, but I was watching bits
of it.
Yeah,
and they still have a few more players to come into the side.
Well, yes, they've not actually fed in any of the new signings, have they?
Really? The only new signing I know is Robin Koch, who is starting for them. Nobody else.
Yeah, but he's only starting because they had a load of injuries at centre back. I mean, tonight Ayling's probably been one of their better players at right back all season, and they've had to play him at centre half from what I saw. From I was only watching bits, but I'm pretty sure he was playing at centre half. He was excellent. So Bielsa's a great manager. He knows how to get the best out of players. He improves them. He's a coach.
That's what he does, yeah.
Great coach.
He doesn't need the big signings.
Also with the players for Bielsa, whatever their starting position may be, his players are very flexible. His system is very flexible. So you might see his right back on the left wing, even in open play, and his left wing might be in centre back, even in open play. That's just how his players are made to rotate around.
Isn't it? Very watchable. Well, what do you think about tomorrow's games? Are we going to do a quick talk about a preview, or do you want to call it there?
I think let's call it.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd want to talk about Man United Chelsea. Because that's about it. Obviously, we need to say before we go, congratulations to Everton for winning the league in October again.
Yeah.
Second time this month they've won the league.
The Carlo effect, that's what it is.
Is that what it is?
United should have got him.
Anyone should have rather than Everton for my...
Let me just jinx it and say Everton are title favourites.
Yeah, you never know. This season's a season. And you never know what's going to happen.
I wouldn't count anybody out apart from Fulham, West Brom, Burnley, and Sheffield United.
And Leicester.
Well, yeah, Leicester. I don't think they're going to do it again.
No.
But genuinely, you can't even count United off, and nobody. So far. Genuinely, because we've shown under Ole that we can go on 10, 15 game runs, and that might be enough for this season to be right there in the race.
You just never know in football. Are you still there?
Yeah, I was just letting you two discuss.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't know you wanted my input. I was letting you two because I thought you two were having a discussion about it. So I was because I'm with you. I think this could be anyone. In a normal season, you'd say Everton are a bit short of the backup players, and they're going to lack strength of depth. But we could. I mean, Chelsea have had to put Petr Cech in the squad because at any point you could end up with 3 goalkeepers out with COVID at some point and things like that. Anything could happen. It literally is a season that we've never seen the likes of. So there's no way of calling what could happen.
And the results that you're getting, the amount of goals scored, is just incredible.
And having no fans is meaning teams like Everton that normally, the fans get on their back if they're not winning straight away.
Yeah.
It's made a difference for them in not just them. I mean, I'm just using them as an example because you're here. So I don't, I know Everton fans are going to say, you just can have. It's not. It's just because you're here, so it's an example to use. They tend to suffer, I feel. And a lot of clubs like it.
And also for the Liverpool and Uniteds, whose crowds are very intimidate people. And they have an advantage. You showed called the 12 man, didn't they?
Yeah.
And and the way you trying to play into the Kop or play into to Stretford End or whatever, it was intimidating, and there's none of that now. So it's an advantage to the away team, I think.
It's a leveller. It's definitely a leveller at least. And having no crowd has also meant that some players that normally just shrink under the pressure of the crowd are suddenly turning out, playing brilliantly because they're no longer under the pressure they used to feel. They might get the abuse later on social media, but that's not affecting them on the pitch anymore.
No, for points rush,
It's going to be a I mean, there's going to be ups and downs. I mean, Villa were 100% record, weren't they, until now? They were the only team with 100% record.
Yeah.
They've just got thrashed. And I mean thrashed. They were completely outplayed tonight.
I think there's only one unbeaten side, isn't there?
I don't know who's that. I've not heard that. I don't know. Do you know Deep? I've not heard anything about that.
Do they play in white or black?
No.
Black and white. Could they be zebra team?
Oh, maybe it's Zebra team. But honestly, mate, after our performance, after our victory in the Champions League, I think that Zebra kit is quite good.
You like it now, do you?
Now I like it.
Oh god. Oh no,
Right,
that's
boys,
right.
that's
So we
me for the
call it
Do you
then,
night.
not think?
lads.
Hey, do you not think Harry Maguire requested to not be played in the Zebra kit because it reminds him of the prison uniforms?
Oh,
To sneak in.
I would have thought he'd enjoy that reminder. It was the first time he managed to connect with someone, wasn't it? When he tried to kick him.
No, but he might be traumatized because he's
Yeah.
probably thinking his sister is being abducted or whatever.
Oh, yeah, so he said, "Have you seen his sister? I don't think anybody's going to be trying to slip her one. Let's be honest." You know,
No comment, mate.
I'm not being funny, but she's not like a prime candidate, you know.
Like Harry, but
Yeah, she's Harry with a wig on, isn't she?
yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I wonder, is she his twin? I've been meaning to ask if anybody knows, because if she isn't, she should be. Makes you wonder if she's been the one playing, to be honest, at times. Could explain why he's so bad.
Right, boys, that's me off. I'm going to have a
Okay.
quick cup of tea before I go to bed.
We'll see you
It's
next
been great speaking.
Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, whatever day we next do it, because it doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason or time.
No, it'll be Wednesday or
Saturday
Thursday.
here already.
It's
Saturday here already.
Saturday here as well. That's what I mean. I'm so confused. We'll see you next Thursday anyway. So bye bye.
Pleasure to meet you, Katie.
Yeah, and thanks Bill and thanks Deeps.
Pleasure's mine, Bill. Pleasure is all mine.
That's true.
Nice.
It is definitely the pleasure is all yours. Having us too. That's true. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, boys. Good night.